So what is your goal? Like, what did you look for whenever you you were looking for Legion Farm? Like, what did you think somebody can help you with? Let's put it that way.
My overall gameplay, very had a better aim, better movement, game knowledge.
Controller or MNK?
MNK.
Okay, good. What other games have you played like besides Apex Legends? Like
Titanfall 2 was a big one.
Okay, so you're basically playing like Apex Legends that was before Apex Legends existed. That's
Yeah.
Titanfall. Apex Legends was meant to be Titanfall 3, basically.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
they were like, oh shit, this looks like a different kind of game. Maybe we'll call it like something different. But it was essentially,
Right.
it was literally called on development Titanfall 3 in all the files. So they pull up
Oh
the
wow.
files and yeah, it's literally called like Titanfall 3 everywhere. But they decided to go with something else. Pretty much.
I played that, and I played Gears of War 3 and 2 were
All on
back
MNK.
when I was younger.
All on MNK.
Well, that wasn't on MNK. Only on MNK, you mean?
Well, I wanted to know what games you played, but also which games you've played on MNK.
Mostly just Apex and Call of Duty a little bit, and Titanfall. That's it.
Okay, that's fine. How long have you played like on MNK?
I'd say maybe about 3 years.
I see. Okay. 3 years. And how long have you played overall, like console, well, like controller and MNK? Because I'm guessing you're also playing. You've also played on controller as well.
Yeah, console. It's when I was like almost like 10 years. I'm pretty new on MNK.
How old are you now?
How old am I now?
Yeah.
I'm 30.
30. Okay, so you've been playing for about 20 years gaming and like 3 years MNK, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. What I can say is I've played MNK for approximately 20 years as well, so pretty much your gaming time, but just on MNK. There's a lot of ways to improve. First things first, Apex Legends is decently fast, not the fastest shooter, but it's decently fast. In that regard, what sense do you play at in this game? Because people switch between different games and switch their sensitivities, but they don't really know like what is good for one, what is good for another one. What sense do you run in Apex Legends on MNK?
For regular DPI, it's 1600.
Okay. And then how much in game?
In game is 1.1 mouse sensitivity. ADS is like 1.08.
1.08. Okay. So you're running higher ADS than your actual like sense. I see.
Yes.
Okay. Have you played any aim trainers by any chance or anything similar to that?
Kovac. I have Kovac. I have Aim Lab.
How much have you played them in total?
If I were to give a number, I wouldn't say that much. I used to warm up with them for like maybe 20 minutes before, for like a solid like half year, and then I just kind of went to the training grounds in Apex and practiced there.
Okay. What name am I adding in game? So we got the practice range real quick. What is your like in-game name so I can add you?
It's the same as Trix, capital TR and then 1 and KKZ.
Trix. Okay. So it's just like how Discord is basically typed out.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. There we go. I added the PC one.
Yep. There you are. Boom.
Alright.
I'll join you.
Right, let's go practice range real quick. I will at some point want to see like how you play as well. Do you have any way to stream your game? Like any Twitch stream, YouTube stream, even just be able to stream it on Discord? Like would that be something like
I can stream on I can stream on Discord.
Yep, okay, that's fine.
Alright.
Do you know how to share specifically the game? No. First we go like I wanna just do some general things. Now in terms of keybinds, like have you sorted out your keybinds that everything is like really comfortable for you? Because people
To change them all the time?
Well, not really. People are afraid to change most of the time. People don't really know like what it means to simply experiment and then just like find what's better for you. They're like, I found something that I'm comfortable with. I don't want to ruin it. You know, it's like as if they ruin it, then it's gonna take them 5 quadrillion years to get used to a new one. That's not how it works.
Exactly.
The more you change, the faster you get used to things. Now, pick up like these armors and stuff, and then I don't know, pick up like R99 with light mag and like a wingman, for example.
Okay.
Just like level 3 light mag, and it's good enough.
Heavy's over here.
So, are you comfortable with like all your settings? You need to get the other stuff. You're missing helmet, you're missing armor, you're missing knockdown shield. Are you comfortable with all your settings right now? Like, do you think that everything is fairly easily accessible? You don't struggle like finding a specific key, and like you don't think it's like clunky or anything like that?
Yeah, I think right now I'm pretty solid.
Okay. Let's do check that. You need to pick up red though.
Buddy, got an Evo shield here.
Alright, red.
Level 5.
Gotcha.
Okay. In terms of ranked, how high have you like gotten like in previous seasons? I'm assuming you've played Apex for like how long? How many seasons have you played that?
Since it came out.
Since it came out. Okay. So
Yeah,
what is
but
the highest?
I was all scared to play ranked for a while, so I was pubs mostly. But the highest I got was last season. I got to diamond because it was pretty much the easiest season.
Okay.
But usually I'll be right under diamond. I'll be stuck like plat 1.
Okay.
Most times.
Do you have anybody to play with, or you mostly just play by yourself?
I do play with friends, but they get triggered very easily. So, and then they like to blame other people
I
for their
see.
issues. So.
Yeah, it's not a very optimal mentality if you want to get good at things.
Exactly, and I definitely want to get better. So.
All right. Okay, so pick up your stuff and come here. You pick up your wingman and your R99. Got the mag on each, and let's go.
Oh, mags.
Yeah, take just like mags on each, and it's good enough.
Just need to be the highest mag, or it doesn't matter?
Level 3 is fine.
Alright. Alright.
In terms of your binds, are you mostly with the same binds that like Apex gives you, or did you change anything? Like, are you using some abilities on mouse or shit like that? Like anything similar to that?
I'm using melee on mouse, on side mouse buttons. My hop is down, scroll.
Okay.
That's about it.
Do you have crouch toggle or hold?
Hold.
So you have to press it down. If you don't press it down, you will not be crouching. Basically, if you hold down, if you hold like control, then you remain crouched. If you release it, it stands you up. Correct?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
on control. Yeah.
Because some people like actually mix them up, and I'm like, are you using toggle? It's like, yeah, I'm using hold. And then he's like, is it hold when I just press it once and I stay down? I'm like, no, it's the opposite. All right. So first things first, right? Do you change weapons with 1 or 2? Like 1, 2, QW, anything like that? Like how do you change your weapons? Scroll down, scroll up, anything like that?
There's 2 side mouse buttons I have, and on the bottom one I switch, and that's the one thing that I always messed up on, is switching my weapons and knowing when to switch.
So you're currently switching your weapons with your mouse buttons, is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
How many mouse buttons do you have? Like you have mouse 1, mouse 2, scroll, and then 2 side buttons, or how many side buttons do you have on your mouse?
I have 2 side buttons on my, and one of them is
punch, and the other one is your weapon.
Yep.
Okay. So off the bat, what is your weapons otherwise? Like, is it 1, 2, anything like that? Like,
1, 2.
So this is your secondary option basically, but your primary is like 1 and 2, right?
Exactly.
Can you share screen real quick, just your settings in like Apex? I just want to like have a quick glance at them and see like what binds you're running, what settings like visual and so on, what's on, what's off, and so on. Just do you know how to share Apex specifically? Like, do you know how to share the game? So open this, like, click screen, right? Click share, then click applications, then alt tab into Apex, and then alt tab out, and then you like briefly get Apex window pop. You're gonna have to snipe it for within like a second, and then you'll get the black window Apex Legends, which will be sharing directly your game.
Oh wow!
Does it make sense?
So
yeah. Yeah, it's a little. Yeah, you can share the specific thing. You just have to like. It's a little fucked because it disappears as you alt tab, it disappears. If you want, I can show you like real quick how.
Yeah.
You got it?
I see.
You see it? You see how it disappears? Like you alt tab and then like so you need to go into Apex for like 2 seconds to enable it, and then when you click it back, it it brings it back.
Oh, yep. I see what you're talking about. All right, let me try to do this.
Yeah.
That's
just have to snipe it quickly. Yeah, it's a little clunky. But if you select it once, and it would basically say Apex Legends like when you select it successfully.
All right, go in applications. Oh my god, it's quick as hell. There we go. Okay, good lord. Good. All right.
There you go. So let me look at things real quick. Drop this. Bam. Open your settings menu.
Settings.
So you leave keybinds for the moment. So you have crouch toggle. Okay, you see. Do you have autorun or not autorun? Like, do you have like autorun enabled? Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay, so scroll down first. I'll explain after that. So yeah, you have your default Q and Z. That's really clunky in my opinion, but okay.
I mean, if it helps to change.
I will give you some of mine, for example, and you might want to try some of these, but you're definitely very likely gonna have to not play with your mouse for melee and for switching weapons. This is really clunky. It basically makes you fumble a lot of fights, and it makes your armor swaps really slow and just in general inefficient.
Gotcha.
You cycle your weapon with side button as well. I see. Okay, weapon 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's fine. Go down. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You don't have any binds for the shield cells and whatnot. Okay. So the only thing that you definitely don't want to have is your like abilities beyond Q and Z. It's kind of clunky. You can, for example, have them on Q and E and then pick up with F. Like your interact could be on F, and you can also just do that. Now, I'm guessing you don't know what tap strafe is, right? Because your mouse up is bound to interact pickup. You're trying to basically fast loot by, fast loot cheat by essentially scrolling around items. Is that what
exactly?
Yeah. But do you know what tap strafe is?
Tap strafe. I was trying to learn that, but I didn't understand it.
Okay, tap strafe is really simple. However, you would need that thing to be unbound, like the interact, and be bound to forward actually.
Okay, so put interact to what?
To forward, like literally secondary forward. So you see your W button, like up all the way up top. It's like all the way up top. Yeah. So your second key, like key 2, it's like you can just scroll up. Yeah. So this is this is basically now that. Now, do you want me to teach you first tap strafe? I can teach you some other things before that, but if you want to learn tap strafe, I can teach you like within 5-10 minutes pretty much, because you're an MNK player, you could make use of it. So I'm gonna share my screen. Do you know how to like not leave yours, but rather watch mine? I think it's possible. I'm not 100% sure, but it should be possible technically.
I think if you
even if not, we can share after that. So I'm gonna share my game. Okay? Do you are you able to get into my game? Like,
yep.
To watch mine.
Let me see. Yep.
Tell me when you can see my thing.
Yep.
Okay. So, right off the bat, right? My settings are very simple. I don't have it here. I have it in a config, so it won't appear here. But this would essentially be scroll up, and jump would be scroll down. If you can see that. Okay. It doesn't show it here, but yeah, it's pretty much like that thing. Now, what tap strafe really is you're basically, when you scroll forward, right? So when you scroll forward, you should get like a lurch, meaning overwriting of like the W key. So the idea is that when you slide, you let go of your W and then you start scrolling, which essentially becomes your W, except it works different than the W forward. It actually inputs multiple instances, so I will rebind it so I can do that. Do you see how I'm moving a tiny distance at a time? Do you see that?
Yep.
That's me like spinning the scroll. This is not me pressing W. It's literally just me spinning the scroll. So you can see how you're also doing the same thing, right? Now when you slide and you scroll forward, it will continue going forward. But if you turn as you do that and you hold A or D, it will like turn. And it could do, you know, this motion. So in order to do that, you need to 2 or 3 things that are very key. The moment that you slide, you must let go of W. If W is pressed, scroll forward will not turn on. Basically, it will not override you holding W, okay? So when you slide, you must let go of W and then immediately hold A or D in the direction that you're going and turn while scrolling, okay? The idea is, right now, the only thing that I'm gonna be pressing after I slide will be A, control, and turn while scrolling, okay? And that is tap strafe. Literally, like, that's what it does. Okay? So, try by yourself. You slide, you jump with space, right? Just once. You jump with space once, at the end of it, as if you normally would. And then, as you turn, okay, as you're turning to the side, you scroll multiple times, not just once. You can just like scroll once and just leave it there. You must keep. Yes, you must keep spinning that scroll throughout the entire motion from the moment of your jump all the way till the time you land, pretty much, in order to get that like sharp turn. Okay, because what that does is input like 10-20 commands of forward that overrides your current direction multiple times. Now I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you like. If I do it like sharply once, okay? So look at my screen, right? If I do it just sharply without like holding A and turning at the same time, look. You see how it sharply cuts? See that?
Yep.
That's because when you turn sharply and you press it once, right? It cuts like sharply. But if you want an actual top strafe instead of like, you know, instead of like cutting it like this, right? You can just do a turn strafe like this. There is also things called back strafes, which are like a little bit like this, you know, where you basically don't turn around, but rather, you know, you just make like an AOE like U-turn, you could call it basically. So yeah, you don't actually turn. But this is like what is regarded as tap strafe. Basically, turning like this, and then you know after that you shoot this, and then you shoot. So can you do that? Can you try to do that? Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on. I had it.
So you must jump. Do not forget to jump. You must jump at the end of it.
There you go.
Even more sharp. Even more. You can do like almost 180. Yep, that's pretty good.
Oh, I forgot to
like jump. Yeah, you need to like walk for a little bit. Okay. Okay, that's fine. You can do it fairly sharp. Like you can like do it decently sharp. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that is tap strafe. Yeah, this is tap strafe. Like pretty much.
That makes it so much better.
Yep, that is tap strafe. So yeah, it's two types of it, right? It's the one that I showed you, which I cut sharply when I turn. You don't need to spam it hard. You can just, you know, you can just jump it. But the one that people usually do is the one that is like with the turn, which is like this, pretty much. Now there's obviously other ways, other things that you can do with the tap strafe, such as, you know, tap strafe into wall jump, right? Like this.
Wow.
So you can do these kind of things. You can also do like super glide, for example, which is kind of like this. Like that one.
I was trying to learn how to do that.
Super glide is not as important. It's pretty useful if you can pull it off sometimes, but it won't come that useful anymore. So now that you have tap strafe,
do I need to change all my settings?
I'm not gonna do it right now. I think so. If I change everything right now, right? If I have you play later and I watch you, you'll basically be fumbling your keys all over the place, right? So that will be not very good. I want to see how you play with your current settings, so I know like what I see based on that. And after that, I'll give you some settings that you can try, and then on your own for like a couple of days or a week or 2 weeks. You try some of these settings if you want, and then you see, okay, listen, I don't like them, I prefer my old ones, or I do like them, it does feel way more responsive, way easier to do like a bunch of stuff. I will keep those settings and you know, so on. Because settings do matter. On controller it matters a lot. but also on MNK, obviously, it matters like how comfortable you are with your settings. Now, let's do like let's go over your settings in the other side. I want to see like your other settings real quick. So we go with gameplay, right? You have compact, that's fine. Button hints off. Shield icon, damage number stacking. I have both. Stacking is also fine. Same thing. Ping opacity, you should do. Hold up. I think I'm watching my own. Hold up.
Yeah.
Stop streaming actually. Okay, so you played Apex in season 1? You can just go compact.
Yep.
Interact prompts there, you can just go compact. You definitely know all the items and what ammo they use and shit like that. Button hints, you can just go off as well. It's probably useless unless you're looking for the small info at the site. Damage numbers, stacking is completely fine. I have both for the simple reason sometimes when you throw a thermite, you can actually see the separate ticks of thermite plus the full stack damage. So like it does show you like a little bit of a separation of the damage then when you have like both on, if that makes sense. Plus it also shows it on structures, like if you shoot, let's say you throw a thermite on a rampart wall, plus you're burning someone, plus you're shooting at them, it separates it a little bit. It stacks, plus it does the separate damage on the side, so it kind of does that one. That is like on my end at least. It kind of helps me understand who am I hitting for how much, and like pretty much how long am I hitting them for. Now, ping opacity, this is fine. Obituaries on, mod protection off, that's fine. Weapon cycle on empty on, auto sprint. You're playing without auto sprint. This is good. Do you find yourself not sprinting often? Like, do you go around like hard spamming shift and you always like find yourself sprinting, or do you often find yourself like you just basically are like, oops, I didn't press it, so I'm like 1 or 2 seconds just walking instead of sprinting?
Yeah, there are seconds where I'm not sprinting.
But so if that is the case, then I would suggest you could try some auto sprint. What auto sprint does is basically to activate auto sprinting the moment that you go in a certain direction for like point something seconds. Now the only thing that you can't do with auto sprint, which would be clunky, is if you aim down sights, shoot, and then on ADS, and then you start sprint in hip fire, it will do like something like this, you know.
Yeah, and that's why I think I didn't have auto sprint, is because
so
of that.
There is a popular myth that people are like, oh, I mean, like, then I can never like really shoot like that. No, you can per se, like you're not barred from doing that. But personally, I played in season 2 with auto sprint, and it hasn't hindered me much at all, because I never really go around angles just doing like fucking like hip fire shots like this. That's not very good. So either I shoot you and then I swing onto you and then I shoot you. It's either one of the two. Like, it's not like I'm never gonna be like peeking you around the corner like this. Also, this does not impair you if you're side strafing, right? If you're doing this, you do not go sprinting side strafing, right? You can go like this. The only thing it does it when you go forward, because you see how it like holsters the weapon down, and you just start doing that. There is a delay. That is not incorrect. There is a delay if you start like walking and like you try to shoot as you're walking. There is a delay before it actually like takes out the actual weapon if you do that. But you should never really be doing that, because this is pointless. Like, why would you be like walking down and then just like doing this? If you get shot, right? Let's say you walk and you meet that guy. You get shot, tap straight to the side. You get shot, you just go. You literally, as you're running, you go side strafe once or like crouch downward side, and that's it. And you stop strafing immediately. You can shoot. 0 delay, no seconds delay. If you press your keyboard button, it will basically stop sprinting and instantly be able to shoot with 0 delay. Now, that is for auto sprint. Show me your rest of your settings. Auto sprint, jetpack controls hold, that's fine. Taking damage closes death box or crafting mate. Do you know what that does or not?
I do not.
So that thing, basically, when you go into a death box and you get shot, it force closes it, so that you don't like find yourself looting while you're while you're being shot. But that's usually a tiny bit more useful for rollers. But on MNK, you absolutely definitely don't want to have that. Even on roller, you don't want to have that. But on MNK, you absolutely do not want to have that, because you can A, move while looting, and B, you do not want to be able to go into a box, get shot, and get force taken out of it before you click the armor swap, because you will die for that. Hop up, pop up, for me, I'm pretty sure that's off, because I don't really like need to read the hop up information. I know what all the hop up does. If that comes useful and you get like the explanation and it comes useful, you can leave it on. Oh shit. Oh shit, I accidentally muted myself. How did I mute myself? I didn't press anything. Okay, never mind. So, hop-up, pop-up. That thing is basically just gives you like a small explanation of what your hop-up does that you just picked up. If you find it useful, then you can keep it on. If you don't really read them, then you just turn it off. It makes no difference really. Anonymous mode, that's for anonymous mode, user sharing. You can disable user sharing. That basically just collects a bunch of your data and sends it to EA, so they can give you products or suggest you products pretty much. For the most part, it will still collect your data. Keep in mind, but it will collect less data. That's basically it. Collects data about your device and help developer products and services. Meaning, it just collects a bunch of data on you if user sharing is. How much you use it, how often, and yada yada. What computer parameters and so on. So that's basically it. Performance display, you want to turn that on because in the top right you see your FPS, you see lag and anything like that. You see top right. You can see if you have loss, for example. If the server has loss, sometimes the server itself has lost, not you. Or sometimes the server just sucks. That's pretty much it, your FPS and like that. Now, how much is your monitor? Is it 144, 240, what is it, 165? How many hertz?
It's 4K. I think it's 144. Shoot, I don't even know. Probably 144.
I mean, if you give me the actual like model and or something like that, where you bought it, then I can tell you exactly how many hertz is.
It's a LG 4K something. I know it's a 4K monitor I'm using right now, but I don't.
Ultra HD TV, yada yada. Yeah, if you find me the actual one, I can tell you. But from what it looks like, is your game capped on frames, by the way, by any chance? Like, is there any capped frames or no, really?
I don't think so.
Okay, so now next thing we do, your settings are sorted out. So let's do video settings now. Your video settings. Jesus Christ, 338 on 2.1K.
I don't have to put them on that, but
so
that's just what it's native.
Have you ever tried like 19 something by like 1080 or something? Like, have you tried it? How does it look like on your monitor? Is it shit? Is it good? Is it bad?
Let's see. I'm okay with trying it.
Does it make it scuffed? Yes, yeah. Just click yes. Is it good? Is it bad? Does it feel off? Does it feel like too blurry? Too not good? Not very.
It does feel a little blurry.
Okay. Your FPS just jumped double. Did you notice that? Your FPS just went from 140 to 270.
It did. Yeah, I guess I'll do this then.
So this would only make sense, right? If your monitor is 240 Hz. However, I do not believe that there are monitors that are 240 Hz right now that are 4K. There might be. I just haven't seen many people use such. So if you tell me your monitor, I can tell you for a fact. Why does that matter? Your refresh rate of the monitor can only do so much hertz as it's set up to. So if you have 300 FPS as you have right now, which is really, really good, given that I saw your other graphics, your computer is really good, I'm assuming. Like, what do you have? It's probably Ryzen or like some pretty good Intel. It's probably a good GPU.
It's Intel i9 3080 Ti.
Okay, that's fine. I guess the rest really doesn't matter as much, but yeah, it's. I can already tell that if you have 300 stable, like when you just drop, then obviously your PC setup is good. Now that's pretty good, but if your monitor is 144 Hz, that means that no matter how much you really like boost your FPS, your monitor can only process 144 frames at a time per second. Now what that means is that it's like, imagine you have a worker who has 144, who can process 144 cans of beans per minute. That's his literal maximum, and that's the only efficiency that he works at all times, 100% of the time. Now you suddenly start sending, if you have 300 FPS, you suddenly start sending him double that amount of beans. He can't process them, so he just, lets them go through the line and not process them. Does that make sense? Yeah. They do get created, your GPU will produce these frames, but they will not be processed by your monitor. They will simply be ignored because they cannot be processed since it's limited to 144. Now, 144 to 240 is not that big of a difference as it is 60 to 144. That's the biggest jump in responsiveness and performance. But if I had the option to go 144 to 240, I would, because that makes the game even more responsive.
Yeah.
I can show you a little like this. Maybe it would make like sense if I show you. Let's see. You find the clip where something looks decently smooth when doing that with 144. So here's my stream. Can you see it?
Okay. Yep. Let me get in there. Oop. There we go.
You can see it now, right? You should see just one picture before I start the video, basically.
Oh, hold on. My whole... There you go.
Okay. You can see it now, right? I can start it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
Good lord.
So when you have like 240, just general movement seems very, very like very linear. Like it's fairly easy to do that. I can pretty much replicate the same thing in Colex by that as well. Now it doesn't mean that you can't do it on 144. You absolutely can. It's just the responsiveness is like a couple % better than it is on that, because what your eyes see are an extra 100 frames. That it's not like an absolutely overwhelming amount, because there is a popular myth that people's eyes can only see 60 frames, right? Some people someone claimed that and somebody repeated it and it just went down the line, and that is completely wrong. If that was the case, there would be absolutely no need to do anything past 60 Hz monitors, because there is no point. If your eyes can only see 60 Hz, what difference does it make? You don't see any difference. However, when you go from 60 to 144, you immediately notice a difference. So that immediately just says, no, that's false, right?
Yep.
Now, in that regard, you don't have to right now get a monitor like that. I don't know what your monitor is, but I would check what your monitor is and see if it's 144. In the future, if you do by any chance want to have like that extra thing, I would suggest get that one if you have the financial ability. If not, then it's fine. Like your 144 is not gonna handicap you severely, but it would make it easier for you to like track, snap back to target, and yada yada. Just notice overall movement and stuff better on a 240 Hz monitor. You don't need to go 360. 360 is like competitive, like like super competitive edge. That is way, like, I would get it if I was like playing in like let's say Quake Pro League, where there's like 16 people and all of them are insane. 300 Hz is like that 1% difference that you could possibly need. Maybe it could come potentially from like those 120 frames, but 240 is way more than enough. Now let's go over your settings real quick. I don't think we need to stop like some stuff. Go video like go video settings.
Go video.
Yeah. Now you can stop VSync. VSync is like not good in my opinion in this game for sure, so you can turn that off. NVIDIA reflex, go enable plus boost. Right now, scroll down a little bit, just a little bit. Also, FOV ability scaling, disable that shit. That FOV ability scaling, that is when Bloodhound and Octane, if you're using any of those and they either stim or ult, you will get like 10 to 20 field of view extra. Right now you're 100, same as me, right? You're also 100 FOV, same as me. But with Bloodhound ulti and Octane, you get 120 FOV when you use these abilities, if FOV ability scaling is enabled. If it's disabled, it remains exactly the same. Now, anti-aliasing, your computer is good. You could leave that anti-SA. It's not like a bad thing. Anti-aliasing is fine. What I would remove probably is texture filtering. I would just drop it like probably either to the bottom or like one of the lowest ones, like pretty much even one more. Yeah, you can even go bilinear or trilinear. It's not that big a deal. Ambient occlusion, you would basically want to like lower that, pretty much drop it to low. Your shadows low, like literally low. So everything from shadow right now, you start everything from shadow all the way to the bottom. It goes low or disabled. Okay. So spot shadow, volumetric. You can leave model detail on high or medium, and everything else is pretty much like impact like impact marks. Yeah, impact marks and like effect detail low, ragdolls low, everything like that. Now that won't make your game look like shit or anything like that. It will remove the amount of extra particles that get produced that your computer has to process on stuff. It won't make it like, oh, I can't see termites or something like that. No, like you can just you can just like apply this. Texture streaming budget. Do you have 32 gigs of RAM or 16?
16.
I would drop that a little bit. Then I would go like either high. I would say high is fine. I think if you have 16. If you find yourself like getting like stutters or anything like that, then you can just drop it like a little bit more medium or low. It's still fine, but this should be okay. Now these are decent settings. Your computer is good. It can even handle way more settings to this. But with these settings, you will be more than capable, because this is pretty much my settings. Right now you have pretty much mine. So what that ends up being is that, can you like leave video now? I want to see like your top right FPS. Your FPS right now is locked to 144. Question is, why is it locked to 144 and it wasn't before? Something that you had was enabled, and that was uncapping your FPS. Have you done anything in your control panel in your NVIDIA card? Have you done any optimizations there or anything like that?
No, just the regular, downloads.
Okay. So
just graphic card updates. That's about it.
Okay. So your driver, right? Okay. I'm not gonna waste your time here with that because there's a video for it. So I'll send you the video of like how to do that one.
Okay.
Let me just find it real quick.
How's it going, everyone?
Game optimizations. Okay, not this. NVIDIA control panel. To be somewhere here, so I'll just share it in Discord, and you can like look at it if you want to try some of those on your own later.
Of course.
Because that's something that you don't really need like somebody to tell you how to do that. It's like pretty easily explained there. Now this would be the side that I sent you is the GPU optimizations. That's it. Literally only GPU optimizations. That's the only thing that there is there. There is other optimizations such as like installing Apex in the correct folder, so like your SSD drive. Then like Windows optimizations, for example, like some basic Windows optimizations to remove some programs that are running in the background that are useless. These are all things that basically the guy made, just to improve your FPS as significantly as possible, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then you have like game optimizations such as, launch options, configs, and files like video configs that disable some particles like lightning, like volumetric lighting, and yada yada. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Now let's go on to 1v1s. I kind of want to try like some 1v1s, see how you move, how you shoot, yada yada. Do you know, like, have you played 1v1s ever, like in here, or not really?
No, I haven't.
So let's start. First of all, you start here, right? You start this side, and I'm gonna start here on me, like on this side. What characters do you usually play, by the way? Like, what is your like most regular characters that you play?
I'm pretty versatile. Seer, Watson, and Ash.
Okay, that's fine.
That's about it.
Okay, that's fine. Having like 3 or 4 main characters that are like, say, defensive, entry fragger, support, and something like that, a recon is pretty much like most of what you need. You need to spread like every single character, but yeah, Seer is a really good character. Bloodhound is strong. Valkyrie this season, especially on Stormpoint, is really good. Like Raytash are good. Gibby and Newcastle, really good defensive characters. Yeah, this is like most of what you really would like to, either look into or anything like that. But having just like a couple characters that you're really comfortable with is just good enough. Now, when I turn the nameplate off, I'll also say ready, but when I turn the nameplate off, you can go. Okay, ready, go.
Okay.
Okay, actually, let's start. Hold up. We have to stop streams because otherwise it will duplicate the sound for both of us.
Oh.
Let's start the streams real quick. Yeah, I was like, wait. Hold up. Alright, ready, go.
Alright.
How is it? Oh, I'm watching your stream. Hold up. There we go.
There you are?
Yeah, I was. Okay.
Oof.
Yeah, so what you do is you switch character. You press M and you click any character and then go back to your Ash or Wraith or something like that, okay? You can switch it multiple times. You can just click like M something. So like, look,
nice.
yeah. So look, I want to switch to back to Wraith, right? And I'm dead.
Yep.
Right? Bloodhound, Wraith. Like M Bloodhound, M Wraith. That's it. And I'm back to Wraith within the same depth. Okay? Pretty much that. You can switch any number of times. Doesn't have to be anything like that. For the purpose of one, let's go like Wraiths versus Wraiths if you want. Like just Wraith versus Wraith. Ready, go. Okay. Same thing. Switch around. Yeah, you get used to it every time. Like every time a duel finishes, you just need to swap to heal up. Also, you don't even need to reload your weapons if you win. You basically just switch back and need to revert your ammo. You know. Ready, go. Okay, good.
There we go.
Alright, ready, go.
Ah!
Okay. Alright, ready, go.
Hostile right here.
Oops. Good lord. Damn it! I hit nothing.
Oh, good. I will check your. Actually, later I will like send you in Kovacs, and I want to see also how you shoot in Kovacs. I'll give you like a couple of scenarios. I'll later make you like a kind of like a personal routine in Kovacs that you can like play. I play Kovacs a decent amount as well, so I know the game pretty well. I know a lot of the scenarios.
My number one issue is I'm very inconsistent with aiming. Like I'm good sometimes, and then I'm not.
That's how you build consistency. Kovacs is really good for that. Just playing like some pubs and understanding like how to be consistent just in pubs is also good enough. Now let's do the 1v1s here for a second, okay?
Listen,
do here
I'm
and here.
some enemies here.
Ready, go. One thing that I know is that you don't really crouch much when you strafe. You just strafe.
Also true.
You strafe just stood up. Like you know how much of a difference it makes, right? Adding a crouch between the short strafes or like the long strafes like this.
So how which button should I use? Because sometimes I left control, but it's my hold. So should I just hit C?
Left control is what you should be using. That's literally what you do. You hold. However, you don't like hold it for long. You don't like crouch like this, you know. You don't like do this. The crouch is only to like make your character just duck for like a short second, just to throw off your opponent about your like center of direction. Because when she crouches, especially Raid and other like smaller characters, Raid specifically, she crouches with her back. Okay, like she crouches with her backwards, kind of, right? So when she crouches, it looks like this, you know. She kind of crouches backwards. And that throws people off, because if you strafe at that same moment into that direction, it makes Raid as if she's like literally just sharp changing direction, right? Like this.
Yep.
And that comes like quite handy whenever like you're skirmishing, because Raid is a skirmisher, but that's pretty much correct for any other character, even someone as big as Pathfinder, because Pathfinder is about as big as Gibby really in terms of height.
Yeah.
So yeah, like even with Pathfinder, when he does that, you know, he still does like the same thing, right? Now. Yep. There's like multiple types of strafing, right? First of all, either you want to do long strafe or short strafe. So it's either long or there is short. So you mix them up, and then you basically make it like difficult to tell which ones are you gonna go for. You know, you wanna sometimes like just give them like the standstill strafe more or less in that case. But more often than not, you do the AD and then combine it up. That makes it very difficult to tell. Are you basically, changing your direction sharply, or are you basically just doing like small turns of the legs? Because when you do like this, your character just keeps moving its feet like back and forth, but not moving all too much. However, it does look for the enemy that you're actually moving quite a solid amount. Now, let's do the 1v1s, but now try to crouch a little bit more. Like add a crouch or two on the 1v1s, okay? Ready, go. Okay, good. Now this does make it a little more like tricky to like for at the beginning, of course, because you're like, oh shit, like now I have to like add an extra button to my movement and everything.
Yeah.
But it does pay off to actually put like a couple days into doing that and getting more used to it. Ready, go.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean.
You see, like it does make it a little awkward at the beginning. You're like, ah shit, like I have to fucking put my pinky every time down there.
Yeah.
It does
the
pay
pinky
off.
is the most. That's
Yes,
the one thing that messes me up, but it's all right.
Ready, go.
Ah.
Laying down.
I'll go here. Ready,
Okay.
go.
I messed up at last minute. I was like, oh, my pinky, wait.
My pinky, wait! I need to put the pinky. That's fine. That's fine. That's the one last, and I want to see something after that. Ready, go. You crouch down, but you forget to move while crouching down. That's fine. That's fine. I mean,
So-
it's you have to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
So
good.
I had
That's
both
good
fingers
enough.
on A and D at the same time.
Yes. So, what I'm gonna say is, for the moment, like for this like sesh, keep your binds on freaking what is it? Like your mouse and melee and yada yada like that. But later on, I would ideally want you to switch it to keyboard buttons. Now, what do you have as options for keyboard buttons? Right? You have 1, 2. You have Q and E. You have like some people use some other like buttons for weapon switches. Some use like H and J. I've seen that as well. Like people who have H primary, J secondary, and because their thumb is like me, I use personally Q and E. Why is that? I'm a Quake player as well. Quake is a pretty demanding FPS game.
Oh, the fast pace.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a pretty fast. Have you ever seen Quake? Like what is Quake?
Yeah. I've played Quake.
You play Quake? Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Quake Live or Quake Champs or what?
Quake like the. Oh no, actually it was Unreal Tournament. That's different though. It's not the same thing, right?
Yeah, Unreal. Yeah, I play also Unreal Tournament, but ultimately, yeah, you know what Quake is, right? So because there, like my Q was Rocket and E was LG, and then R was Rail because there's no reload in that game. Your R is on Rail. Pretty much my buttons are like that. Obviously, I can have R here on any gun, but there's no point because the third gun is your hands, right? So you just you have 3 for hands. It's pretty easy. So what my binds look like right now, pretty much, is I use my ability. So 1 and 2 are my ability. So this is my Q, right? My raid Q. My 1. My ultimate is 2, and my Q is my weapon 1, E weapon 2, and then 3 is my holster guns, right?
Wow, that's smart.
Yes. So why is that? Like, why would you do that? Why not 1 and 2? Because when you try to move while switching guns, right? Put your like 3, like your ring finger, your middle finger, and your pointer finger on A, W, and D. Now try to switch with 1 and 2 without moving those 2, like those 3 fingers. Now try to put any other finger left to 1 or 2. It's only pinky left. It's literally just the pinky left there. So when I like joined Apex, I was like, dude, I have to like keep strafing, right? But I also have to like somehow switch my guns. How do I switch my guns when only my pinky is available? So I'm like, well, simple. I'm just gonna make it so that my ring finger can move from A to Q, and my pointing finger can move from D to E. And now I can switch weapons freely while strafing without having to actually, mess up anything specifically with my movement, right? It means that I don't even have to lose like a millisecond of strafing while switching guns. I don't have to awkwardly place my fingers around that. I'm always gonna give you my bindings as well, and I'm gonna like let you decide if you like any of them. If not,
Yeah, because I actually like that a lot.
Yes.
That's actually never thought of that.
it is efficient. It is smart and efficient. It's not something that people think about most of the time. What is efficient? Like, it's sometimes what comes naturally, what is like pretty much what people go to. But efficiency matters. Like being efficient in your crouches, your weapon swaps and stuff like that. Another thing that you absolutely very likely don't know about is when you crouch between weapon swaps, your weapon holsters out of like like so you can shoot faster if you add a crouch at the moment of the swap. Now what does that mean? Like what does that mean? If I shoot with my wingman and then I crouch at the moment I switch with R9, it switches it. I can shoot almost instantaneously, right? It's pretty much like almost no delay. Now not many people know about that, but also even when people were to know about that, they find it difficult to like do the weapon switching while crouching because now they have to have 5 fingers on the buttons. So where does your thumb fucking go? Like it's on space, but then where does it go if you need like the 5th button? You can't.
Yep.
So only with my things it kind of works so that you can actually do that. Plus you can like crouch with that. Now people can do it with 1 and 2, but for that what they do is they push their ring finger all the way to that. They actually like push their ring finger, and that's how they put it to that. Me, I loot with F personally. E is like for my weapons, so I just loot with F. It's pretty easy to just, go around spamming F on the floor. And yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of bindings. Now for like bindings and settings, this is pretty much it. I'm gonna send you mine later and everything like that.
Okay.
Your movement is gonna improve as long as you know that. But something that I want to mention is that I said that there's like 3 types of movement. But what I explained is that you're basically moving either short strafe or long strafe. But that's not the type of movement that I was talking about. The type of movement that I was talking about a bit more is actually what it has to do with how you strafe according to your opponent. Now there are neutral strafes, which is basically you don't pay any attention to your opponent's strafes, you don't try to mirror them or counter strafe them, you simply just pay attention to it doesn't really matter what they do. Now that is one. The other one is you mirror strafe them, so you copy their strafes, right? If they strafe, you copy their strafes, so you allow yourself to basically not have to actually move your crosshair all too much, because if you're copying the strafes, then they're basically standing still for you, right? Like they're essentially just standing still for you, because if your crosshair is straight down the middle and you start mirror strafing them, they don't really move away from your crosshair. That is even more important on controller, because if somebody masters that on controller, this movement, they basically can just aim assist people down without even having to control anything. All they have to do is just control their strafes and the crosshair will be in the middle. They just press shoot and that's it. The one clip.
Yep.
But on MNK, it still comes quite useful. And then there's counter strafe, which I strafe opposite of what you're thinking. Now, what does it make sense? Now, like, I mean, okay, you explained this, but like, how can you even do that, like, to people? Like, how can you actually look at people and like counter strafe and mirror strafe them? Like that seems kind of impossible, right? Well, you will think that, but when you understand strafes and you understand like your own movement, you can basically spare all your time looking at your opponent and looking at their movement. So here's a clip that I'll show you, which basically kind of showcases more or less what that means.
Okay. I'm in.
So, can you see my screen? You can see it, right?
Yep.
Let me just double check something real quick. Okay. So, we play this one, right? As you can see, if my things wasn't working, like if what I was saying wasn't working, you would be seeing that amount of kills and damage on the top right, correct?
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't be able to survive long without doing that. So it's a pretty much 1v3 scenario, right? I'll play it out and then I'll break it down so you can see for yourself. If I break it down, it will start to make sense. Okay, I'll just play it out first.
I'm inside the next ring.
Oh shit. Do you have a zipline out? Nice shot. Damn, bro, you're fucking crazy.
Right?
Oh, nice.
So, for the most part, right? It's like you look at it, I'm like, I mean, this is pretty sick, but I still don't see like where the movement is. So let's break it down, right? It's a 1v3. You pretty much see that there are, like, when you jump here, you see that there's a guy running all the way down left, and one going up the rocks, and then one guy just grapples at you, so you know where everybody is. When you hear this, you already know that this is the Pathfinder grappling you. Now, what do we do? How do we win this? First, you play behind this truck because you don't want to be shot by the others. You want this to be a 1v1. So how do you win this 1v1 without losing too much HP? You notice immediately that he has Spitfire. The moment that you hear the shot, you already know he's Spitfire. If you mirror strafe a Spitfire, right, you're probably going to take a decent chunk of damage because, I mean, he has a shit ton of bullets. Even if he hits like 20% of his bullets, you're probably still going to die, right?
Yep.
So what you do is you counter strafe him, right? Look. He keeps moving.
Oh, wow. Yep.
Right. And he can never really pinpoint where you're going because every time you do, you switch your position, right? Every time he, like, you see? You move left, you see where he's shooting? To the right.
Yep.
He shoots left, see? You're moving to the right. But he's moving to the left, so you're looking at him.
Yep.
Now, once again, he's shooting at the right because, like, at that same moment, he moved to the right and he looked to like, my own right, correct? But now you move to the left because he's moving to the right now. He goes back, and that's it. Now, you have already shot like your clip, so you pretty much, you know, have dodged as much as you can. Now, you need to land this shot because you have already done enough damage, but you need to kill him quickly. So what do? You just mirror him because you want that shot to hit. So he will jump, and you will jump. And he's moving in the same line as you are, which means it's not very easy to, not very hard to miss that shot. It's pretty easy to land that. Right? Now we've dealt with one of them, right?
Yep.
Now there's two more. We don't have time to heal. You just take it as it is. You have 100, 25 HP, something like that. Yeah, 130 HP. And that's your next fight.
Nice shot. You
can climb like small angles like this, right? And at the end of it, your weapon will still be out as long as your character does not initiate full climbing animation. Meaning, if you climb on a ledge like this, you can just jump and your weapon will already be out. It will not go to hands to climb and then take out weapon. Make sense?
Ah, okay.
So that's why you can do that. You see?
Nice.
Boop, and you can shoot at it. Now it suddenly becomes 20 HP versus 150 because you just chunked 50 off of it, right? The same thing applies to reloading. If you jump on a ledge, right, and you're reloading, and you jump off of it, you see, my weapon does not get holstered.
Reload, yeah.
Yes, you still continue reloading, right? So that's something that people don't really know about, but it comes useful if you know that. Because you're not standing still, and you're also making them look up, and then suddenly you just go back down. Like you see, like this guy looks up, right? He thinks I'm onto the side. Now he looks up and is like, oh shit, he dropped off, right? Now what do? You jump here just to see that guy's head. You see his head like was just on the left side there, as you throw the thermite. All you want to do is you basically check here. That guy is gonna be playing either behind the truck or he'll go left because he's not to the right side. He's not going there, so you can see him. He's not there. So he's either to the left or behind the truck. You throw the thermite and you deny one of the places. And now it's a 1v1 on the left side. So how do you win that? You immediately notice that he walks out and he's choking a PK at that point, right? So the moment that you notice that he chokes a PK, you want to, dodge that shot if possible because it will probably hurt if you don't do it. So what do? As you're strafing as him in a straight line, you duck the other way. Counter strafe. Mirror strafe, counter strafe. And then at this point, you can actually just mirror him because, I mean, he shot his shot. You don't need to any longer dodge any damage because there's going to be time until he can shoot again. You want to just maximize your own damage. So, you duck that, and then you see how it's mirror?
Yep.
That's it. And the last one, I mean, he's at a distance. There's not that much point to mirror or counter strafe him because realistically, he himself is not like in close-ish range. So you pretty much just focus on your own damage. You just, make small strafes just to not mess up your aim. Now, another thing is, so when you're shooting, right? If you move, right? If you're moving and also moving your mouse, it actually reduces your recoil, right? Something that not many people know is that if you stand still and shoot, your recoil pattern is normal. But if you're moving at least a certain amount to the side, right, with your mouse, while also moving for example, in a opposite direction, it actually pretty much almost nullifies a lot of the recoil. So you can you can essentially shoot with almost like no recoil really.
That's what I was going to ask you because I was wondering how you were able to stay on target. Like, were you jitter aiming or anything like that? But
nope. It's not jitter aim. As you can see, I'm just literally just moving left and right and just skipping the target. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't jitter aim. Jitter aim essentially does what I just explained to you, okay? Except jitter aim doesn't move side to side, it just moves in circles. Jitter aim uses the same thing I just explained, it's just circles. That's what jitter aim is. It's literally just doing that thing in circles so that the game is like, you know, registering movement of your crosshair. But it's literally just a circle movement. You arrive where you came from, basically, in terms of aim. But the recoil, like, reduces. So the jitter aim basically makes use of that, okay?
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. Now, does it make sense what I explained, like with the strafes, like with mirror versus counter strafe? Now you would think, I mean, okay, but it's gonna, you know, it's gonna be hard to make use of that. When you master your own strafes and you actually get good at strafing and you're comfortable, not having to think about them at all, not having to think about your pinky being down there, not having to think left or right, you know, short or long, but rather it comes natural. That's when you actually pretty much can just start focusing only on your opponent's strafes. And now your own strafe just comes naturally. You don't have to put any conscious thought into it. It comes like subconsciously. Unconsciously you're gonna be strafing, and consciously you're gonna be looking at your opponent's strafe, because that's something that your brain needs to like be processing and making conclusions as to how you change your own strafes to, you know, use that to your advantage per se. So
well, let me so with the I need to change my key bindings if I'm gonna switch to Q and E. What's your interact then?
My key bindings look like this. I'll just send them on Discord.
Okay.
The jump you already know, like you already know what that is. I'll do this, then I do this.
I want to see.
Keep in mind, I don't even have Psycho Weapon on. Like that does not exist on me. I don't have Psycho Weapon as a thing. And these are the 3 screenshots for my binds.
Okay.
I would like to see you play like a pub or two or something. I just want to like to see how you play a little bit. But I also want to see how you doing callbacks. Do you have any questions or anything like that? Like anything that like you want to know or anything that I need to like elaborate on? Anything at all?
No, this is pretty good.
Okay.
Got a lot of information.
Good. Now, what do you think that you're struggling with the most when it comes to playing? What do you think is like, I don't do well at that and that costs me a lot? Like it costs me to lose fights, to lose games, to find myself in shit positions. What do you feel like you're currently not very good at, and something that...
My 1Vs.
Your 1v1. So basically you're thinking that your mechanical prowess is kind of keeping you back. Is that what it is? Like your mechanical ability to shoot and just overall like win gunfights. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Now, this will change with primarily few things. When you fix your bindings, you'll be more comfortable switching between weapons, right? Now that I've explained to you, okay, another thing that I forgot to explain actually now, man. When I wanted to show you that thing with for fucking what was it? The switching of the weapon with crouch. Here, look. I'll show you real quick again, because this one basically shows that. You see my screen, right? Yeah. So, right now, right? Let me full screen it. Do you see that small crouch right here? Did you see that crouch?
Yep.
Do you see how my PK immediately came out?
Yep.
That's what I was talking about when you crouch. You see? That tiny crouch, the PK immediately comes out without any delay. Now, it used to be in older seasons much stronger, like there was absolutely zero animation, but they reduced that, they nerfed that. It still exists, just not in as strong form as it used to be. However, it's still a mechanic that comes useful, especially if you get decent at it. That means that people who jump while switching guns versus you who crouches while switching guns will basically have a slower switch. Not super slower, but definitely like a millisecond or 2 or 3 that comes actually sometimes pretty clutch, especially if you're switching to a shotgun, he switches to a shotgun and you're both one shot off. You switch, you pump him, that's it. He doesn't get to shoot. And that's pretty much how it comes. It comes with any gun really, but especially when it comes to like, for example, shotgun switches, that makes it so that you're immediately much faster threat than you were before when you had to take out your gun normally, like either jumping or something like that.
Okay.
Obviously, jumping while switching to shotgun means that even if you switch to the shotgun, you won't like lose accuracy because shotguns have no air recoil. Basically, you don't get any recoil just because you're shooting in the air. It's the one weapon where you can just shoot jumping around any way you want. Everything else has some amount of recoil for jumps, especially rifles. Rifles and snipers have the largest amount of recoil for air, like kind of, and being in the air just adds a lot of extra recoil. And that's pretty much it. What I wanted to show you. So the next thing that I was talking about, your binds. When you're gonna become more like used to a better like bind setting, you will be better at gunfighting because your weapon switching and strafing will be better. Your strafes also have to improve because that's something that you basically A, used to dodge bullets, and B, when you shoot, initially your strafes might actually throw off your aim a bit because you're suddenly going to be moving and like shooting at different angles, you know, crouching, non-crouching, strafing more, strafing sharper, and so on. That might throw off your aim a little bit, but as time passes, you're going to get used to the moment that you strafe, you're already predicting where you're going to be strafing towards, so your aim is going to adjust for that, okay? Your aim is going to adjust for that strafe before you've even done it. Like, kind of like your brain is already expecting the next move, so it's adjusting with the mouse for the next strafe. That will improve your gun skills, because gun skill overall refers to not just like your weapon shooting, but also how well are you shooting while moving well. Like, that's mechanical prowess. Like, being comfortable at shooting and being comfortable at being difficult to hit while doing so. Now, I would like to see like you play like a pub or two and just see like how you fight, how you find yourself around the map. Okay?
Gotcha. Yep. Go to the lobby. Yeah, that helped a lot.
Can you share me your screen in that case? I think it's gonna be easier if you just share me your screen and then like I can see directly your POV rather than just like going to spectate you, because there is a little bit spectate lag, if you could call it that, whenever you're spectating somebody in the game. Whereas Discord is not gonna be like that. Like ping, you know, like if you're in A, I will see like the shots like maybe a second and a half. Do you know how ping really works actually? If you're shooting at somebody with 150 ping and you have 150 ping, it's not actually you're shooting with 150 ping delay. It's your ping plus his ping difference, because it's the server receives information from both of you. If both of you have 150 ping, it's 300 combined. That's why sometimes you're going to be shooting and like you go behind cover. Oh shit, I died behind cover. How? That's because on his screen, you're still in the open for him. It's just you think that you're behind cover, but for him, there is still like a second and a half left where you're pretty much just in the open for him. Because the server has not yet taken the information from him and sent your information to him of your current position. There is a delay. There is milliseconds delay. In fact, even seconds. So yeah, you can like start by yourself.
Okay.
I'm watching. Why can you not go practice range? What? Why was practice range like removed or something?
I don't know. That was weird.
Just do like solo duos. Like you shouldn't be doing trios unless like super. Just go no fill. Like go cancel and just go no fill. So you don't have like a bunch of teammates going around.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, me personally, I go no fill because A, like you learn to just rely on yourself, nothing else, and B, overall you don't have anybody like griefing your boxes, looting your boxes with you and something like that.
That's true.
Most of the time anyway, they'll be just dead and running around, so it's not really it's not something that you want to rely on. You want to just kind of rely on yourself. Now the other part of this game, right, is it comes with game sense, positioning, and overall game knowledge. Now these things you can improve in pubs and something like that, but it's definitely at some point where you're decent enough, you want to do it in ranked, because ranked does require like some form of teamwork, some kind of slight synergy with teammates, and just overall understanding how to play with teammates, how to cover them, how to aggress upon damage, like how to collapse, you know, on the same target, yada yada, getting angles with them and so on like that. This comes as a skill within Apex Legends. It's obviously not Quake. It's not Quake duels 1-on-1. It's 3v3 most of the time. So your fights happen with the kind of premise that there are 3 pawns attacking other 3 pawns, and it's a little bit of a tug of war of resource. Now what is resource? It's your health bar. Your combined team's health bar is 1 resource, and then there's also the separate resource of your own. But realistically, if a team gets both shot for 150 on, let's say purple armors, that means that 2 attackers are now healing. It's just 1 defender. Now 3 people can move in, and there will be only 1 defender trying to hold 3 people. That's basically how the kind of the tug of war becomes. 1 person will not really effectively be able to hold all 3 at the same time. So even if he trades damage with 1, the other 2 are still aggressing, and they still, keep closing the distance. It kind of becomes a little bit of a tug of war until the fight becomes close range, and that point, basically, then it becomes the, the mechanical gun skill check in that sense. Who is better at shooting and who's better at moving and yada yada, things like that. What I'm gonna say is, you don't need to hot drop into people. You don't need to like land into 7 teams and just try to kill 7 people. You can land anywhere nearby, get some guns, get an armor like blue or purple, doesn't matter. Get anything that you're kind of comfortable with, and then go and look for fights. 3P, not 3P, doesn't matter. Eventually you're gonna be fighting with people. What I want to see is just like how you find yourself around the map, yada yada, inventory management and so on, positioning. Now, something that people don't know or also don't talk about, it's called spacing. That is the ability to keep your opponent within a range that you can exert pressure, and if you are pressured, you have options to back up and like make them expose themselves to being kind of shot or killed even, right? Now I'll explain that after, but let's play it out first. So right now, you can lock your camera and look around for teams. Always when you're dropping, you should look around for teams. It's pretty much like when I drop, I literally never look at like forward. I just look everywhere around where teams are, how many, yada yada. You can land even outside, anything like that. Yeah.
An enemy landed near me. Their final mistake.
Pretty sure there are 2 teams with you, but I think 1 is a solo. You're currently using your own binds, right? Like your current own ones. You haven't changed them yet, right?
I'm using the new ones.
Oh,
I just
okay.
realized that.
Okay. Yeah, you should like. That's why I said like it would be easier for you to just keep yours for the moment, because otherwise it will be clunky for you. You'll die just for the sake of not being able to use them quickly.
Attention. Blood.
He's below you right now.
Oh, I didn't get it out fast enough. Yeah, I might have to use my other bindings.
You should.
First.
You absolutely should. Even if you die, it's no big deal.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm using my other bindings. Jesus.
Yeah, no, you should. That's why I said, like, I know what's gonna happen. I've done it to other people. I know what's gonna happen. I've thought, like, I've given multiple people different bindings. Some people have played on, like, I might be able to find a picture of it. It's called like a gaming claw or something. Like, okay, how was it? Hold up, let me find it. It's this thing. Send you a picture of it. This is a keyboard. This is literally their keyboard. They played on that. So how do I give them bindings for this? Like this. This is like where they put their hands and like their movement keys, their weapon switch keys, their fucking heals, their utility, their jumps, their scrolls, like fucking everything, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. But obviously there's also been people which fucking scope in with side buttons, jump and strafe with side buttons, switch usabilities with side buttons, switch both guns with side buttons, like literally fucking weapon 1 on mouse 4, weapon 2 on like mouse 5. It's like crazy, but people don't really understand that what is inefficient and clunky means that it hinders your like gameplay. It makes you play suboptimally as to what you could be playing with. You have a goddamn keyboard. It's like fucking, I don't know, like 30 buttons that are very easily accessible. It's like shifts, control, alts, 1 to 7, QWERTY, fucking ASW, GHHK, fucking you know, Z to M. I have heals on like X, C, V, and N. Because essentially, sorry, not X, C, B, and N. V is my punch. Z I use for alternate interact, meaning if I want to pick up a scope and put it in my backpack, I pick up with Z, right? It puts it in the backpack rather than put it on your gun. So if you want to pick up a DG for someone and you have like a 1x or 2x, you just pick up with alternate interact and put it in the bag. So yeah, ultimately, like, this is what I use. Now, not everybody's comfortable. People have said that, yeah, I tried your settings, but you know, it sucks. I can't get used to that. Like, it's, my hand just sits weirdly compared to how I wanted to, how you're using it. So I'm just gonna stick to mine. There's nothing wrong with sticking to settings as long as it's something that is not really clunky. That's about it. What the heck? There's a hair on my glasses. There's a hair on my glasses, and I can't blow it away. It's like it just stays there. Finally, Jesus Christ. So yeah, TLDR, that's about it. Like, settings have to be efficient and like easy to access. If it's not, then that slows you down, makes you slow, clunky, and that means slow means dead. In this game, slow means dead, to put it simply.
All right, let's try this again.
Yep.
Oop, hold on.
Yeah, don't be afraid to try settings. You're not gonna, you know, not gonna forget how to play the game just because you switch them for like a day or two, maybe 3. You might be feeling a little clunky, like, oh shit, wrong button here, wrong button there. But the brain gets used to fairly quickly. Like, you eventually, you know, map them out in your brain and just have a pretty, you know, clear understanding of where it is, just as you do like right now with your current ones. It just now, when you change them, it will be much more accessible for you to do that as well. Like, to reach all these buttons. The people landing on you? Jesus
Target
Christ.
landed near me. Bold move. And fatal.
Outside, yeah, please.
Finding them. The enemy stands before us.
What the hell?
Punching you. He's trying to punch you.
The next thing is
Oh my god!
If I were you, I would actually just go around the fucking box, and I would just reload my flatline. It has like the bigger damage output, you could say.
All right.
Well, you don't really aim too bad. It's kind of weird that you didn't aim down sight on the staircase, but it still works out, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you know how aim down sight versus unaim down sight works whenever you're like kind of spamming it between spray? When you aim down sight, you center your aim and it becomes less, you know, the spread is less. Basically, the bullets can only spread like a small amount. It's actually very, very accurate, right? Now, when you un-ADS, it makes the spread bigger. However, it takes it like an amount of time and bullet shot to make that spread go bigger. So when you ADS back, it will once again recenter it, and it will make that spread once again small. When you un-ADS, it now once again starts to slowly bloom outwards. But while that bloom is happening, you're still shooting fairly accurate despite not being in ADS. Because in the last like second, you were just now in ADS, and you were shooting accurately. So it doesn't instantly switch from like full bloom to fully centered. It gradually goes into that as you shoot and as like bullets come out of the gun. So when you ADS, right, you can usually within the range that you are fighting just now, ADS and then un-ADS straight away, and it will kind of retain a lot of the accuracy that you want to have just hip firing.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is your champion.
Jesus, you have music on? God damn.
Can you hear it?
I can hear. I mean, yeah, of course. I hear. That's why I'm making you share your entire Apex rather than just your screen. Because if you share screen, there's no sound. If you share Apex, there is actual sound. I can hear everything. You can look around.
Oh,
See,
that's
you're not looking around. I don't see you looking around. You don't know who is with you, how many people are around with you, where they are they late landing on you? You know, always look above yourself, around yourself. In front of you is only the bins. You're not gonna miss the bins. As long as you lock your camera towards them, you have like 10 seconds to fly to the bins, at least.
Let me keep that.
Yeah, people always skip repeater. Yeah, well, that gun
No,
actually hits hard.
Use it. I do use it actually. Actually, screw that. Let me use it.
I mean, I would take Wingman for this fight because I mean, so you're gonna be close in fighting, right? Wingman would be a better option unless obviously your Wingman is like atrocious and you just have like a really hard time. I don't know where your Wingman is, but yeah. There's somebody outside for sure. I heard something down there.
I definitely heard him.
You could get height first, yeah. In this game, high ground is king. If you have high ground, you kind of control the amount of time it's gonna take them to get to you. But there's also people
I'm
like
inside the
fighting
next
there.
ring. Enemy shield.
See? There you go. That's repeater. Okay. Well, that's good damage, right? However,
Yeah.
you're still at a distance. You can't really finish these, right? So if you do damage like this, right?
You want to
This
finish
guy's
it,
done.
right?
No, you want to get closer. You want to get a better position because now they can no longer shoot at you. So you get closer to them to be able to eventually finish these kills, okay? Oh. There's a runner.
Good lord.
Okay, I'll give you cover scenarios, don't worry. Like, you'll be able to practice exactly this, like you exactly attracting. So good.
He's right there.
Oh, that's fine.
I shattered an enemy's shield.
Oh no, his friend.
Grenade.
Oh my god.
Oh, good. Now, one thing that I noticed is that when you were pushing that octane, right? I'm gonna like explain it this way. When you crouch while sliding like forward, you actually reduce the spray spread of your weapons. Just being crouched while sliding. So you like you slid forward, right? But you were sliding forwards into his aim. Plus, on top of that, you were stood up. So when you started spraying with the gun, it actually just kind of, you know, made a bigger bloom, and B, you're kind of just running into him. If you're gonna swing on that guy, you don't swing into him. Rather, you swing to the left side. You slide into the left side. You remember I explained to you the top strafe, right? You can either top strafe to the left, or you can just simply slide to the left. It's easier for you to just slide to the left, and then just look to the right, because he has no cover. Like, if you slide to the left, he's literally standing completely in the open for you. But also, you basically just arrive on the floor very quickly, and not straight through his aim if he's shooting at you. Because if you slide into someone, if you slide into someone while being up in the air, chances are, especially if it's a controller, he's just gonna rinse you before you even get to the floor. But if you straight sideways, people don't usually have like good enough aim to accurately rinse someone like this. Now, what I showed you earlier with that like one clip on the octane, people don't usually have like the ability to do that. But even that octane was coming at me on a fairly straight angle, right? So even though he was like coming slightly to the side, it still didn't matter because he's actually like side jumping. He's pretty much just going forwards and then strafing back to, you know, back to the opposite direction. But realistically, you can see just how easy it is, especially if they're coming towards you, to just rinse them like this. Now, that's without aim assist. Imagine with aim assist, which essentially pulls towards the target. So that's just how much important it is, like just knowing at what angle to approach your fight. If you want, I can also try play like 1 or 2 pubs, and like I can show you how I play, and maybe if you have any questions like, oh, like why you do that, like why did you do this one or not that one, or anything, I can also explain, you know, obviously, if I need to that.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
But yeah, play one more. I want to like see real quick. In terms of you shooting, like just a distance shooting, you're not actually bad or anything like that. You're doing decently. It's your overall like strafes and movement a little bit. Like you get close, but you start to just panic and just start jumping around or going in a straight line, and that makes it like easier to hit you. Even though that guy was like bad and just missing everything across the board. Ultimately, you would want to retain good strafes, regardless if he hits you with good strafes or not. You still just want to, you know, be like reliant on your good strafes rather than just jumping forwards and sides, because jumping is a straight line, like you just fall in a straight direction. You can't cut jumping that easily, especially if you just jump forward like this. You can't just simply, you know, tap strafe it as easily.
Is Rev worth it
Revenant?
right now?
No. Revenant is a character that should absolutely be reworked. That character is just like horrible. Yeah, that character should not exist to begin with, in my opinion. That character had like a horrible release and then a disgusting mid release where like a couple characters released and he was buffed, and then he basically became annoying and everybody was running him in rank just so that they, you know, nullify mistakes. His Q is literally like an emo flashbang, so he just throws the flashbang at you and you're silenced. And yeah, it just doesn't. It's not a very good design of the character. Yeah, you can jump anywhere. Look behind you. Always look behind yourself. Never forward. Always behind. Look where people are going. How many? Where are they landing? Where do you want to land? Like, do you want to land right next to them? Do you want to on the side of them? Anything like that, okay? Usually I land like earlier stages of the map, anywhere next to people, and I just get a couple weapons and armor, and that's it. Even if you challenge like 1 or 2 like people of drop like this should be fine. Like, you can do that. Usually for pubs, like a general tip for pubs, initially I land next to the big stacks of people. Why? People are distracted, don't know what to do, run out of ammo, run out of shields, lose position and just get killed overall. It's easier to get gear then and then look for 1v2s rather than go off drop and do 1v2s with like maybe not as good gear as you would want it to be to kill people when you do, because remember, you're in 1v2. No, there's nobody to help.
Ugh.
Perfect.
What the?
I'm inside the next ring.
There we go.
Champion eliminated.
I think they're in the building, yeah, they're pushing up. No?
They will be found. Enemy shield cracked. I have caught them.
Okay, good. Use cover, that's very good.
Fire.
Ooh, armors.
Recharge.
Oh yeah, what the hell? Why am I doing that? That's funny.
But your goal is to split them from each other, okay? That's your ultimate goal.
Yep.
Split them from each other. 1v2 at the same time, you're not gonna win the gunfight.
I'm under fire. Thermite out. Recharging shields.
Good thing they're very scared. You can just heal, I think.
Healing.
At least if they're not pushing. Also, arcs are your friends.
New kill leader appointed.
Arcs are out. Cracked. I shattered an enemy.
Okay. Let me try 1 or 2
Alright.
games, see if I can actually show you maybe something that I know or something I can do that you might not. Because there was one guy actually that, actually not one guy, it was like 2 or 3 people that when they like watch like a game with it, they're like, okay, this I'm actually learning a lot just like watching and like asking questions, much more than I can just show on my own and then like learn on that. So let's see if I can like show you something like how I approach fights, how I kite them, because when I talk about spacing, right, where I said like spacing is important,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like knowing how much distance you want at a given time, at what level armor you have, what guns you have, which are the even enemies' characters, what is your current state in terms of like, okay, I have the ability to one-clip this guy, I have literally just tap weapons, like I can maybe, you know, headshot them or something like that. Everything matters really. Like you did the early stage of the fight pretty good. However, after that, you kind of didn't know how to separate them or how to get them off the high ground. What I would do, what I would have done is a little different. I would have actually gone from below. I would have gone on the doors, right? Like the other doors. I would have basically tried to bait them, snare one of them, and then go on the other side of the doors. And at that time, maybe see if I can climb up, crack one of them, and while one of them is healing, I bait one to just drop down, and I try one-clip them with the Havoc. If I one-clip them with the Havoc, I go back down the staircase. If they push me down the stairs, I go down, out the doors, eat the battery, and then maybe I can take the fight. Maybe I can kite them a bit more. Maybe I can wait for my Ash kill or something like that. So I will share my screen. Hold up. Let me just do the share screen thingy. God damn it. There you go. What the hell? Where are people going? I don't even know where people were, but yeah. I alt-tapped for a little bit, so I didn't see where some of them were.
Yeah, you're efficient as hell doing that.
Yep. You should be fairly comfortable, like going and dropping items while, you know, moving at the same time. I do need that. Let's see, what can we get here? That is a pretty good gun. Might take the PK potentially. I'm gonna get my bolt from there that I dropped a second ago. So is it here? Here? Yep, there's people in the ship like I thought.
Yep.
Whole squad down.
Right. So that guy chose not to heal for whatever reason, but normally that guy would actually just be healing. You understand what I mean by spacing and like making them like, you know, separating them. So I shot this guy here. Normally what should happen is this guy should go here and he should try to heal, and then this guy should, you know, be here. I shoot him, I kill him, and then I, you know, I move back to cover or anything like that, right? This would mean like spacing. This is what I would be referring to as spacing. That's how you, like, when you fight. This guy was just a little weird that he, you know, didn't even elect to heal. Like, he just got cracked. I would usually elect to heal on that one. Now, it's not, there's no rule saying once you crack, you must heal, regardless of what happens. It actually sometimes comes pretty useful to not heal and just cover for your teammate. But usually people do the most linear thing, which is they shoot, they get cracked, they heal, they pick again.
They heal, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of just how it ends up being.
That was something I didn't know. Like, after I get cracked, should I just go and heal, or if I'm super low, should I just heal up or try to push with my teammate?
Now, this is based on what is the distance between you and your opponent. Are they really close? Are they far? Are they right next to you? Like, how much time do you realistically have to actually heal? Because if you are pretty much right in front of them, or like within 10 to 20 meters, you probably can't really heal without them just going on you. But if they are like here, you know, if you're here, for example, say on this door and they're here, 30 meters more than enough for you to just eat a bat. And if you get cracked, you can eat the bat on the door deep again. If your teammate is the one who's getting pushed, I would still heal unless that teammate is quite literally like calling for you to hold for him. In that case, I would probably distract. What is happening? Why didn't not a single person land here? I'm so confused. This was where the ship went through, by the way. This is where the ship went through. The ship came through here. I'm so confused.
I always loot here or land here.
Yeah, but there was like this is the ship crossed like this. So I'm surprised why the heck nobody came. But okay.
Oh, that's something I don't do usually.
You should craft your armor if possible, especially if it's white and you don't have any means to get any other one. Then definitely get an armor. That comes quite useful. white becomes instantly blue, so it becomes fairly fairly good if you're not a white, because healing flesh is much takes much longer than healing just armor.
Yep.
Like eating like 3 shield cells, right, is the equivalent of eating a medkit. If you simply get like cracked, it's like no big deal. You can just eat a battery or a couple of shield cells. If you have to eat shield cells and bats and a medkit or syringe, that adds like literally doubles or triples the time that you're actually gonna need to heal. Yeah, it's just gonna end up being like that.
Yeah, there they are. Oh, there's a few of them.
Whole squad down.
Where are you rezzing him? Oh, he's up.
Took out the whole squad.
Nice. Holy crap.
Whole squad down.
Okay, there's another one
We should
there.
go here.
We're gonna get in
Recharging
cover,
my
heal up. This guy's pushing, he will go up the thing, and now we're gonna blast him as he goes up. Make sense?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. I guess we don't blast him. My aim sucks! I haven't warmed up. Fine. No, I got the top. No,
Oh,
I just sucked it with my aim. I didn't play like before that, but yeah, I should normally be able to rinse that guy there. Fuck, dude. He survived like 1 bullet as well. If I did any damage before, that would have been good.
So the death recaps, can you really tell? Like, I mean, looking at it, sometimes I get confused because I know it's 250 a person, right?
250 a What do you mean? Like if you do damage
like
or
your
what?
health. Like you're technically your full shields is 250, correct? Like full shield and health is 250, or is that?
No. So your health is 100. Your health bar never
Okay.
changes. It remains 100 throughout the entire time. Okay. So
Okay.
that remains 100. Your shield changes 75 on blue, right? So white 50, 75 blue, purple
Yep.
is 200, 225 is red. Okay, that's the
Okay.
4 shield categories. The maximum
Got it.
health that you can possibly have is 225. Some characters like Newcastle, Gibby, Caustic, they have Fortify, which gives them 15% damage reduction. They removed the headshot damage reduction from the Fortify this patch, this season, like season 13. Before, it
Okay.
used to also have the damage reduction as well.
Okay.
So yeah, if that is the case, then pretty much, if those characters have damage reduction, then they can tank a little more damage. But you will still have to do the same amount of damage to kill them, 225. It's just your damage numbers of the weapon will be reduced. Your flatline won't do 18 damage, it will do 15 or 16, you know? Like 15% reduced.
Okay.
Gibby is the chunkiest character because on top of Fortify, he has gun shield. So his gun shield also is, you know, adds to his total health pool, kind of. Unless you find a way to shoot him past the gun shield, which usually is not gonna happen, more or less. You know what? Let's do this. Let's go land here. Let's kill this team in a... Oh shit, there's more than one team. There's 3 teams. I was thinking it's gonna be 3v3 there. I was wondering if I should kill this guy or the other one. There's a guy behind me, no! I knew the other team is gonna come by. I didn't think it would be so soon. And right behind me. God damn it. They're still not gonna push because they don't have much
I'm
health.
hurt. Using a Phoenix kit.
They're fighting? Or no, not anymore.
I don't know where they're coming from, but I hear them. Oh, There we go.
I'm out of ammo.
No ammo.
He's coming.
Need to
I think that
recharge my
might be
shield.
Strafe.
It was rezzing. God damn it! I should have just like.
Need to recharge my shields.
Is that a wingman?
Gonna pat on me. Yeah.
Recharging my shields.
Yep.
The issue is that I also don't have a primary gun. I literally just have a repeater.
Blood jump.
That just looked like he tap strafed.
Nah. Just regular strafe. How do we survive this?
I'm taking shots.
Oh. Damn it.
Oh.
Didn't have any ammo after that. And I mean, I should have expected like that the other team is gonna come behind me. I just thought that they would be going from the right side, like not on my side.
Yeah.
But I guess they just went through the shortest way possible. But yeah, this is like more or less what spacing means. Like you just, you know, keep your distance with them as much as possible and wait for an opportunity to separate them wherever possible. That's more or less what it comes to spacing. I kind of wanted to get like anything better. Like if I had a wingman there, it changes things. I could have like done a bit more, but or any like flatline R9 anything like that I can just have like decent burst repeater. Not ideal for that. Although repeater is good if you start at distance, for example.
Is that your usual setup? Flatline R99.
I play almost anything. This season, car wingman, car repeater, flatline shotgun, 301 car, like all the other combos like are still fine. You could play snipers as well on like on ranked in Stormpoint, for example. You can play charge rifle, but repeater is a pretty good sniper overall. Like it's not something that you cannot use close range. Like charge rifle is quite useless in close range, but repeater can be used in close range. Like it still does work. Let me see. So you see how I'm looking around, like always, so I can know where people are landing at all times. I don't want to be, I don't want to be caught off guard to where people are going, and also I want to know where am I going after I loot. Obviously, like I don't want to be in a position where I don't know where I'm going next. There's a guy in the opposite building, a couple in the one in front, and team that landed on the left side there. Early game, close range guns like CAR and PK are fairly useful. The fact that they have good burst in close range. Okay, we're just gonna go that side. Early game, when you're like a solo, you definitely want to give them some time to get into a fight. You don't want to like be the center of the focus, or you want them to. Yeah. See? Now they're engaging themselves. And now you get options. Like, you get options to come in, wipe fights. More gear, yeah. Okay, you climb up. Door. Oh shit. Okay.
No.
He just risked me. When you see people walking in a straight line like this with flatline and hitting everything, more chances are they're pretty much just a roller. Because they don't strafe, they just go in a straight line. Usually that's what ends up happening. Damn it, dude.
And of course that aim assist.
Yeah, if he's within this range, even if you strafe, it probably won't do a hell of a lot for you. Like you realistically will not be able to dodge a hell of a lot of bullets. But if you find a way to either tap strafe or make like any sharp strafes close to corners, especially, it does cut off the aim. It cuts off the aim assist a little bit. If it goes off target, then you know they could miss some shots. But yeah, aim assist is
tap strafe while aiming or while shooting?
No, you could tap strafe before, like going into them. You could technically. I can try show you. I can try show you how you can actually tap strafe like a little bit while shooting. Okay. I do need to do something though. Hold up. I think after that I'll just restart my game.
Okay.
And I'll be able to show you that.
Gotcha.
No, do you have any questions or anything that you feel like you think you want to know more about? Let's say.
No, it was just main thing was just trying to see if settings. We went over that. Trying to figuring out if it was my aim that was messed up or it was just me, movement, placement, all that stuff. So all that stuff makes sense.
Short answer is everything, but your aim is not as bad as you probably think it is. It's like fine that you play Kovacs. I'll also after that I'll basically go to Kovacs with you and I'll just like look at settings as well a little bit on Kovacs because some people just haven't really set up anything in Kovacs. They just kind of took it and use that as it is. But it does come useful to look at some of the settings in Kovacs.
Okay.
Kovacs is good. Like people say, I don't know. Like I just play the game, dude. You play the game, and realistically, the time that you're actually shooting versus the time you're either looting or doing something else is pretty much like they're about shooting for like 5-10% of the time maximum. What the fuck?
Shield broken.
Okay. Did he stick me with that? That is crazy. There's a Gibby behind him. Did you see that Gibby? On the opposite side?
Yeah. There he is. Up, healing. Oh, he stopped.
Broken enemy shield.
He did? Sorry, Gibby, you're a little too fat for this one.
Yeah, I heard him try to res, but he stopped.
Yep. He did, and there's a team on the other side which I'm quite concerned about.
Yep.
Yeah,
Here they come.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get out of here though. Ha! Fuck me, bro.
Oh, no.
Damn it! There wouldn't be anywhere for me to go even if I queue out though.
Yeah, you're right, because you couldn't go yeah.
If I go to them, it wouldn't actually matter. And somehow it do be like that. You just finish your fight and you're just like in a spot where you can't. Let me reset my game real quick, and I'll be able to show you something.
Yeah.
Although I was kind of expecting that he might bubble as well, but I guess he was just not intending to use the one. He should, you should bubble there if possible, because you're.
Oh yeah.
He should bubble and should play behind the knockdown shield. If I push the bubble, he still has the knockdown shield, so it's still good for him. Like you will still want to have that as a thing. Actually, let me do on my native ping because I was on London. I was on NA, but I could be doing it on London as well. And also less rollers. There's like upsides and downsides of roller. Like your long range with roller is less dominant, but upside is that obviously in cross range you have quite a big assist for that. And they still haven't actually nerfed that. You haven't probably played ranked this season, have you?
I have. I was playing it recently.
Yeah. You got. I saw you were like what in like silver 1 or silver 2 something like that.
Silver 3, I think. Yeah.
So yeah, ranked this season is especially sweaty compared to previous seasons. Like.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This season, basically because they nuked the point system and nuked everybody back to gold. Masters got demoted to gold, right? And they had to go up up almost 9k points to get back to Masters, because now it's 15k for Masters.
Yeah.
There's only 850 Masters Predators right now, so you can imagine. Last season, I think, or the previous season before that, we ended with, I think it was last season though, we ended with 165k Master players.
What?
165,000 Master players is ridiculous. There were more Master players than there were Plats, that there were Diamond, that there were Gold, that there were Silvers.
Yeah, that's
how many there were. That should not be the case, because Masters supposedly should be like the top 1 to 3%, more or less.
Yeah.
Right? That's something that should remain that way. And I'm glad that Apex devs took a little bit of a, you could say, a leap towards quality over quantity, and basically disregarded the fact that it will make some people salty that they can't rank up as easy as before, and made the ladder actually demanding. Because now it is really demanding to play. So you're a let's say you're a predator, right? You kill 7 people. Steep predator, you kill 7 people. You're literally minus 60 points at killing 7 people and before top 10.
What?
Yes, that's how much points is the entry cost right now for that. That's how heavy it is. So you see how I see that the landing there, right? The landing here, and I'm basically looking to land like on this side. That's more or less like what you want to do. You look for people, you see where you are. You don't want to land on people. That's
you don't want to land on
what you
top.
want to do. You either want to cut them off from loot path, like I'm about to do for this guy. You run away that way, huh?
Danger move.
You're Sentinel, huh? Jeez,
Whoa.
okay. That was pretty quick.
Right?
On you, it's a different team. You just have better MNK players than like a lot of controllers. Basically, what ends up happening.
Yeah, I'm inside.
Also, they completely split and just didn't fight each other at all. I'm concerned about the team that is here as well, though.
Sounds like they're fighting. Nope, maybe not.
I think they are.
Where's that Sentinel guy at?
He's on the other side. I think I hear them.
And in this corner, weighing in at insert with your power.
Yep, right in front of you, I think.
Cool, actually.
Void running.
I stole them here.
What the?
Did he?
What was that?
It's like, yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Attention.
Watch this.
Frag out.
Bait me up. Nice. He ran into it still.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, you're super quick at that.
Yeah, you usually don't have much time to dawdle around with this stuff. So now, once we've let them fight a little bit, you see now you're no longer the focus of the fight, but you rather just pick them off one by one. You never really know how many there are, but you're right. Oh shit. Okay. Now this is very weird. Why are they here? I am very confused. Like, the fights were happening on the other side, and yet they're here? Like, how?
Need to recharge my shields.
I'm not taking the zip even, by the way.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was wondering why you didn't take the second zip.
Half the
Should have,
squads are
but-
gone. Not fine with that.
But they didn't come. They didn't follow you.
That was weird. I'm guessing it was different people that were shooting there.
Wow.
You go inside? You did.
Look who it is. It's
Yep.
you. Can anyone summon the courage to
Recharging my
face
shields.
this contender?
Yeah, there's little things that I notice that you do that I would think to do, but I don't. And I think I just have to learn.
I'm inside the next ring.
Nice. Oh, nice.
You noticing the movement? I hope that you are.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
That is not ideal, but we will find a way out of this. Hold up.
nice. No shield. They're coming behind you. Nice.
The whole squad.
New team there, though.
Oh crap.
more guys there. No.
Oh no.
God damn it, bro.
That's still freaking good, though.
But yeah, I kind of wanted to get that patty before that, like before he crosses, so that I can just continue going down the line, because I was thinking that there's probably people coming behind me. Like that fuse that was in the middle was from the Octane's team. I figured that probably that ended up happening. I don't even know whose raid this was. I guess this was the Patty's teammate is the raid, I'm guessing. So yeah.
Well, yeah, because that made sense.
Yeah, because he died instantly. So unless he was solo and raid like his teammate was somewhere else, I don't know. I can't really tell. It's pretty like I'll play like one last, I guess, and we'll go into Kovacs real quick. Also,
Gotcha.
you said that like you need me for about 2 hours, right?
Yep.
So the way it works here, right? You could technically book someone for certain amount of time. Like, okay, I just want to play this amount of time. But when sessions start, there is no like a given amount of time that you must cut it at. It's pretty much where you want to end, right? So if the person is free-ish, right? So he doesn't have to go either for like a next session, just leave to eat or go out or anything like that. He can continue playing, and then at the end of the session, he basically just closes the amount of time that you've played with him. Does that make sense? So
Yeah, that works,
if you
yeah.
play with someone, like there is no cutoff for like, oh yeah, we promised 2 hours or 6 hours or 10 hours or whoever how much you want. You must end it there just because you promised that. It's pretty much like up to them to decide where they end. You could end it at 2 hours 10 minutes, 2 hours 20 minutes, doesn't matter. Like pretty much at any given moment you could be like, listen, I play one last game and I gotta go because I gotta do this. That's it. That's all. There is no given amount of per hour that you must do or anything like that. It's pretty much like every 10 minutes or so it can be like kind of ended-ish. And even if it's not within the minute, you usually just close like the closest time. Let's say it's like 2:14, you just close like 2:10 and that's it. That makes sense. Let's see. Well, this time only one team went up high and a bunch of teams went to the side.
See, that's one reason why me and my team have issues, because they always spend so long trying to just find their favorite weapon.
Oh, that should not be. Oh, what? Where from?
I hate when they do that.
I don't know, folks.
These guys are punching each other.
They say yes, so let's go.
No, they're thirsty.
No.
Take and run as
Oh,
fast
they're
as
so
they
thirsty.
want, but a challenge is just denied. Now ring.
What?
Oh no, yeah, there's nothing you can do.
But yeah, like, I mean, normally I would assume that like this fight would happen, we fight outside, and the team from the middle would go here on this platform, but they went right behind me, like straight away. I have no idea where they came to. Like, I genuinely have no idea how they just end up like running right into me. Now, let's go into your Kovacs. I want to go real quick to your Kovacs, and I'll like show you a routine that I do. I'll also start mine as well.
Gotcha. All right, I'm starting it up. Comex. There you go.
Okay. Now I can share Kovacs real quick. Bam. Can you see my Kovacs window?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So pretty much like a lot of these scenarios is like what I actually play. Now, there are certain levels, right? I usually give people some scenarios that are not hard, and I gauge the level like, okay, this guy is good at this level, good at that level. I'll make it harder or I'll make it easier based on how he's doing. I would like to see how you play first, and I'll share my screen after that and like watch I'll show you like how I play per se. So, what scenarios do you play normally? Do you have like any favorite scenarios, or do you know like any scenarios that you
these
like
right here. Krylix is or it's Timmy's warm up.
Okay. Let me see. What are these? Like, what do you play for now? Like, play it out, I guess. I don't know, but I've never really played any of theirs. Tau Frenzy, those are useless. Timmy just flexes.
Useless?
Yeah, he flexes on people with his, quick flicks, but Tau Frenzy is useless in terms of like learning mouse control. These are just like not very useful. You can play other scenarios that are more demanding, but also much better for that. Tau Frenzy 180, strafing 400% track, that's decent. Ascended tracking 90, that's fine. Technically, yeah, essentially, these are the good ones from there, from what I can actually see. So if you want, like, yeah, play that. I want to see like the Tau Frenzy, like just how you target switch for a second.
Oh, just
The
regular Tau Frenzy?
Yeah, the Tau Frenzy 180 strafing 400% track. That's like the tracking. You see? Above that one, above the 90.
Right here.
Yeah, that one. Because I know this now. Okay, yeah, I can see that your settings are not like you haven't like major settings. This one is switching. Okay. I can already tell you have smoothness problem. You literally like are not smooth where going around. Okay, that's good enough. I can already see. I just wanted to see like how you. That's good enough. Let me give you some of those that I wanted to test.
When you say smoothness problem, how is
what's that? So here, okay, I'll explain. Like I'll just show you how I do it, and then you'll just be like, oh, okay. You see?
Okay.
Do you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Tau Frenzy 180. What was it? Strafing 400. Is this one? Okay. So first of all, my game looks a little different than yours. I'll give you my settings for the game, okay? So you can do that.
Okay.
I'm not sure how well you're doing here. I'm last time I played it was like months ago, but I'm like somewhere here, more or less, at like 87.
Oh wow.
So what you want to do in this one, the goal for this one is switching from box to box as fast as possible, while snapping directly onto the box rather than around it, meaning you have a sharp transition from target to target, and also being smooth while tracking it. So what that means is this.
Holy shit. Good lord.
Does it make sense, like what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Switching from one to another, and then you just continue that. You don't want to be you don't want to be going like you don't want to go this and then be like
Yeah, how do I do that?
How do you do that? Practice. That's it. That's your practice. So I'll give you scenarios that are different this, but this is good. Given that I just saw how you were playing it, you can you can tell that you can improve to this much, right? You just saw like what it is and what it could be. Another one that
what's the settings? Like, is it
my settings?
My settings that are the issue, or is it
so I personally play on a lower sensitivity than you. First of all, I play on 601.6.
I'm on 400. What the hell?
Are you on 400? How much are you on? Wait,
yeah, I'm on 400.
Shouldn't you normally be at like 1600 DPI and 1.1 or no?
Well, that's on my mouse right now. On my actual mouse on my computer, it's 1600, but this is 400. Yeah, I might have messed something up.
Okay, so I can make it easier for you, and so do you know where your desktop sensitivity is, like your mouse sensitivity on the desktop? Do you know where that is?
Yeah, is it?
So type in search bar mouse settings, literally just mouse, and you should get mouse settings as a thing. Okay.
Yep, mouse settings. Yep.
Okay, we'll go to that. On the far right side, related settings, you should have additional mouse options. Can you click on that? Okay.
Yep.
Then you have five tabs: buttons, pointers, pointer options, wheel, hardware. Right.
Yep.
First things first, the button configuration of buttons should be switched off on switch primary secondary, then turn click lock should be off as well. Double click speed should be somewhere around center to fast, okay? Not the fastest, maybe like middle or like 6th bar or 7th maximum, okay? That should be your double click speed. That allows you to fire P20, for example, a little, like a tiny bit faster, if that makes sense. I mean, if that is hard for someone to reach the maximum speed for P20. It used to be like you want to fire P20, the old P20, the 11 damage P20. You want to fire it with maximum speed, but this thing was kind of preventing you. So if people go like, you know, 8th or 9th option, they can do it like much easier. Now you go to pointer options, right? First things first, enhanced pointer precision. Is that turned off or it's ticked?
No, it's off.
It's off. Okay, so it should be non-ticked. Okay. The pointer speed, is it at the center, dead center, like in the middle?
Yes, it's in the center.
Okay. Now, what you should do in that case, rather, is you should drop your DPI. Well, not drop, but increase your DPI in Kovacs to 800. And how much did you say was your in-game sense before? Like on Apex 1.1, you said, right? You said 1600 1.1.
Yep.
So what you do is 800 2.2.
800 2.2. Okay.
If you want to copy it to the dot, okay? If you want to copy it to that, so you can do that, and you can like, you know, just copy that. If you want your Apex sense the same as your Kovac sense. Now I would suggest going just overall. Is your mouse DPI in overall just on browsing around the internet or anything like that at 800 or 1600 DPI?
I think it might be 1600.
Do you have like what mouse do you have? What like mouse are you running?
The Death Adder Pro.
Do you have an application, a Razer application, right?
Yep.
Can you check in that one? Can you check how much is your sense there?
I'm checking it now. Sensitivity.
Okay. Also, quick thing like to mention.
It's 1450. 1450 is what it is.
Right now it's 1450.
Mm-hmm.
Drop it to 800 there. Like drop it to 800.
Gotcha.
Then you have like 2.2 in there, so you retain your Apex sensitivity. It's just your browser sense will be a little lower.
Slower.
But but that you can also like, you know, change that later if needed as well. Basically, the DPI versus sensitivity works like this. It's one multiplied by the other. 800 times 1.6 is 960 eDPI. eDPI is quite literally that. Your DPI times sensitivity. Right now, you're at, what is it, 1760 or something eDPI? You're 2.2800, right? Mine is like around half of that-ish. Now, I would suggest for Apex, you probably would want to reduce this a tiny bit, at least to 802, 801.8, or 801.6. You don't have to go to me straight away, but I would definitely suggest like over time looking into just dropping it a little bit if you want to be more precise in Apex.
In Apex, you have 1.6, right?
I have 1.6 and 600. Yeah, I'm running at that. I used to be 802. I did 600 1.8, then 602, then 800 1.6, then 1.8, then 600 1.6, then 600 1.8, 602, and then eventually I just settled. I was like, you know, I just go 600 1.6 and try a little bit like solo sense, because I play ARM anyway. Like I play well with my ARM. I don't isolate to wrist a lot. A lot of people isolate their, you know, hand movement with the mouse a lot to the wrist that play on higher sense. I like to combine them. You know, I like to do the small micro adjustments with wrist, but my overall turns are with the arm. So yeah, like this is your sense. Now, I would I'm gonna screenshot you some of my settings so that you can like copy that side. Now the sensitivity stuff is irrelevant because you already have them. So the settings should look like this. I'll share a couple screenshots here. Right. Okay. This. Then here there is this ones. Video settings. Mine look kind of like this. Then up. This is my, like, you could say, playground in a way. Yep, this one, and then sound settings. I have just this, and my UI looks quite like this. You're gonna get like 9 pictures, but yeah, it's pretty much like this. These are like all of my stuff. Now I want to see your clicking a little bit. Let's see which we can do. Oh, actually, we'll test your smoothness very, very. Actually, I don't think I need to test the smoothness because I already saw the tier 180. I kind of want to see your clicking.
Okay.
You know what? We'll do. Can you do this scenario? You know, 180 like. That's the scenario. That's how it's called. B180, B180. You can just literally type like B180 there. Yep, and then it will find it probably. You can just enter. Like you just press enter, and then it will type easy. Like it's voltaic easy. Third one. Third scenario. From top, third. From top. Yeah. You can even favorite it if you want. Up to you. But yeah. Challenge it. Oh, like you should always just challenge, just for the sake of like keeping track of like your performance, pretty much, because it just gives you like a tab of how you're doing, pretty much. Yeah. Do you want to disable your weapon, by the way? Because you can do that if you want to.
Like, disable the weapon?
Yeah. Like, look, hold up. Press. Go to settings. Go to settings. I already sent you my settings, so you'll be able to disable it later, but we can do it now. Weapon. Show weapon off. Like first
okay.
up. Look. Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like you can just save. Yep. And that's it. Now you don't have a weapon.
Okay.
It might be a little better for you to like have more clarity. Most of us play without weapon.
Pretty bad on this.
That's fine. Okay. And can you do this scenario then? It's called B180 Manwing Sparky. It's literally like B180 and then without the T. Literally just go like to quit challenge. You just quit challenge. Yep. B180, remove the T. And then you'll be able to see it.
And you said wing?
Just enter. Yeah, just enter. And then Manwing Sparky, it's 3-star rated. 3-star rated. It go below. 3.1, 3. Yep. Also, quick note, because like more or less around 2 hours passed, like 2 hours 10. Do you want to continue until we sort this out, or do you want to like call it here? What do you prefer?
We can keep going until you want.
Okay, that's fine. So yeah, like play it for a little bit. I just want to like see. You're not aiming for any score or anything. I just want to like see how you go around, like how you comfortable you are, I guess.
My tracking sucks.
Well, you're on a little higher sense than me, so it's not like that easy for you. But it's not like there's people that cannot do that at all at your sense. It probably would benefit for you to drop it to like 802 or something, 801.8, and then get used to that one, because it'll help you get more consistent and more. It will be more easy for you. Also, given that actually, given that I saw you play Bounce 180, no Bounce 180, Tau Frenzy 180 400% tracking on 400 DPI, I kind of want to see it again, to be honest.
Okay.
But yeah, like just type Tau Frenzy 180 strafing, and then I'll find it for you. Tau Frenzy 180 180.
190.
180. Yeah. 180.
Oh Jesus! What the fuck?
Okay, that's fine. And
400%, right?
yeah, exactly. The 4.7 stars.
And you said you want me to change my settings?
No, I want just do this one at this one. But you'll be able to change the settings after that. You good. Don't worry about it. But yeah, you see how it's definitely different
That's
than
a
it was
lot better,
before. That's
yeah.
because you were at 400 DPI. I was like, dude, it can't be that bad. Like he was aiming better in Apex earlier. Like this is literally as if he's just gripping the mouse for the first time. Like he can't really find up or down right now with distance. I was like, something's wrong here. Yeah, you see, like you're not that bad. Like you're definitely like doing better with this now. But as you saw, like being able to like snap from target to target is like quite important. Being able to adjust, like readjust to that. That's fine. I want to see like your just general level of target switching. Now you're not doing bad at all. However, obviously, just being good basically allows you to win some fights. Being really fucking good allows you to win a lot of fights. Now I'll give you some scenarios. Now you're free to copy my settings if you like. The visual settings are personal preference. Okay, you can change anything you want. I'll show you on my screen. Can you see my screen? So the visual settings, right? When you're trying to change visual settings, you're pretty much just changing either your texture of the walls or texture of the floor. That's because that's pretty much your entire playground, really. Ceiling and ramps don't really make a difference because this game doesn't really put them. Map creators don't really put them because they're just extra work and nobody really gives a crap about them usually. The things that you're changing on them is these things, okay? So you're changing the scale, right? So you're either making it, so that there's more boxes on them. There are less boxes on them, so it's like either one box like this, right? Or it's just like how it's intended, which is just one, right? You can do just one. You can do the roughness of the wall, which makes it like this, right? Makes it like kind of like that. You can make it so that it's not. You can do metallicness of the wall. It makes it a little brighter and more metallic, and you can do it like full, full metallic. The brightness increases it like this, and then makes it like that. The same applies for pretty much anything. Let's say we can do wood oak, right? You can do the same thing. You can do this, you can do that, right? You can do the roughness, you can make it, let's say, once we're at 1, right? Just do 1. The roughness of the wall, it makes it like this versus this, right? Metallicness of the wall makes it brighter, basically, more metallic. And this is darker. The full bright makes it like this, so you can do like brighter. You can do darker like this. Pretty much that. Same thing applies for the floors, of course. You can do anything with the floors. You can do, ground moss, for example, right? You can do more. Shit, wrong thingy. Advanced. You can do this. You can do that. You can get back to 1 and just do roughness. It makes it like this, like that. Metallicness. It makes it darker. Brightness, like this. That's it. So you're free to experiment with any of these. These are just like, for your things. I used to have this gray wood board. Used to have it as like fully metallic, and then ground. I think I had something like this. I used to have this before. So this is a good playground. Doesn't have to be anything specific. You can just play with them a little bit and find what you like. You can also copy the ones that I gave you. There's no like, it's not like mine is a secret thing about that. I don't even know. I just forgot like what mine actually was. Hold up, I was wood pine. I forgot. Yeah, wood pine. But yeah, that's pretty much all that there is like to the playground. The rest you can mostly just copy them to the dot because they're fairly good, especially the video settings and the other stuff. They're pretty good. Crosshair, you can play it. You can have a dot. You can have a crosshair. You get your options. It's here, so you just click on the crosshair and you can just pick anything you want. You can have this one that you currently have. This one you can have one that has a bit more outlines. You can have a cross as well. So let's say it looks like this. You can have a cross like this as well if that that helps you. You can have where is it? You can have the circle with a dot, the bigger circle, the smaller circle. I used to play with this for tracking. This one. I used to play with this one for regular, I think. Yeah, I think this one was like 1.0 for me back then. Yeah. So
Which challenges do you use to warm up?
the thing is that I don't specifically pick any and just play only them. I pretty much pick what I feel like I need at the moment because I know what all of these do for me.
Okay.
If I need to practice like flicking into target that sharply switches direction, I play like this one for example. So yeah, like some of these. This is not a good scenario unless you're really comfortable, like super comfortable with your flicking. But ultimately, like these scenarios are like too hard for most people. Yeah, you don't really wanna play them unless you're really comfortable. But I played a lot of this one, like to Skeet. I'll give you probably that one as well, but I think that you might need a little different one than before that. So this one is one of them. Although I was playing with the dot, like this dot, and then 0.8. So yeah, I was playing it with this one. And yeah, this is like a tracking smoothness scenario, so that when you're like going into, let's say this somebody jumping with an octane pad, somebody falling down from a horizon queue, stuff like that. Doesn't have to be specifically tied to something, but it allows you to be more smooth when you're tracking. I play this one for example, right? This one is good. And yeah, like this is for like all-purpose tracking pretty much. It's just target switching of targets that are moving in random direction, not any particular direction at a time. Obviously they don't switch as sharply. There is ones that switch sharper, which is like, let's say, Toons TS. I used to have them at it, but fucking not Apex, Kovacs did something and completely fucked everything. And just removed all your scenarios somehow, like legit removed all of them. But yeah, this one I'm like second, I think, on this one. So yeah, this one is just clicking of like targets that are moving in like this. Pretty much what the scenario that you saw before. However, it's like a little more difficult, I would say. There's this one is the easy one. There is like smaller ones that are like, I don't know, 25 at least, 25 to 30% smaller, which are like this. But if you play them right now, you'll be like, what the fuck, I can't hit anything. So there's no point, like it's based on the level, These ones are a little faster and like that. I would say you could potentially play the easy one. This one is probably pointless for you. But yeah, these are some of them. I do Pasu as well. This is Pasu. So yeah, it's pretty much like this one. And yeah, what Timmy does is he flexes on people. Like Timmy goes to Tau Frenzy and he's like, dude, watch this.
He does do that.
And then people are like, oh, dude, look at his speed, man, look at his speed. Like he's going so fast. No, this makes no difference. Like doing this does not actually help you, attain mouse control. Just being able to do that means nothing. Also, Timmy does it on higher sense, somebody does it on a lower sense. And it's like, dude, I can't go as fast as him, what the fuck, I'm slow. Well, no, he's just on a faster sense than you. So, like, just doing this, doesn't really do anything for you. Even if you're first on this one, it doesn't mean that you can actually track, that you can flick well. It means that you're just fast, period. You're just fast at moving your mouse around. The targets are... There's also, like, fucking even bigger than this, Jumbo Tau Frenzy, I think. What was it? Tau Frenzy, I think. Oh. I don't even know, it's like buried under freaking... What? Where are these? I'm confusion. Highest rated, I guess? Yeah, like this one. And then there's like... he goes on this and is like, dude, I go fast! So yeah, like, you know, being able to do that does not necessarily mean that you're a good aimer. It just means that you're just quick at going around the small ass like 40 FOV screen that you have, because that does not really constitute any aiming skills.
Right.
So yeah, ultimately these are useless. I'll give you actual scenarios that you can sweat on, and then you'll be able to actually notice that over time you get more consistent with your tracking, with your flicking, and so on. So we're gonna do this. I'm just gonna use the pictures for that one you have. I'm gonna delete this one, and I'm gonna type you out. I'll give you like 6 to 8 of them, and like if we play again, then you can let me know like how you progress more or less, and I'll see. Do you need different? Do you need slower? Do you need faster? Yada yada.
Okay.
So we're going to do Fox target switch. It's let me just see how good is the Vox one right now. Okay, that's fine. Then we'll do def target switch. Oh shit, hold up. I sent a message accidentally. Def TS got it easy. Then we'll do, which one was it? We'll do the peace home. Would be bad if you do this one right now, but I think if there's anything slightly bigger, that could be good. Let me see. Wait, what? What the fuck are those? They bump into each other. Oh, this is the RNG part. Okay, I see. So they bump into each other, basically, like the. Let me see. I want them to bump into each other. Yeah, okay, I see. So they do bump into each other, and then like you might have to, track them out the way, kind of. If they bump, let's say they top strafe, Octane top strafe. It's kind of like this. Yeah, this could be a good one actually. Ski tracking. What was it? Go to jumbo energy. Then we'll do something for clicking. Bounce 180 manuing. Okay, we'll do. And we'll do one that I think could help a lot of people. So we'll do close tappy strafes. And we need to do one that requires movement. So we'll do close tappy strafes. Not dodge, maybe.
That one looks familiar.
Yeah, that should be fine. Close powers. Easy dodge. And then clicking one. Manuing strafing gallery, I think is fine. Manuing strafing gallery. Robots. What was it? Was it like that? V3 robots fixed, okay. This is enough. You can just pin this right here in message. And that's it. The tappy strafes, it looks like this, by the way. What is this one? Right? Now it starts like this, right? Pretty much. And you'll notice as time passes, that will get like faster. They will get sharper in terms of how they strafe and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
They'll start also sometimes getting more jumpy.
Okay.
I'll just play it out real quick. It takes like a minute, I think. Ish. So the score is calculated based on how long you do. So each one gives you like an extra time, I think. And then it gives you an amount of time after. So you see how now they strafe like kind of more difficult, kind of, you know, they jump and change directions mid-air and yada yada. For example, this one.
Yep.
Yeah, it starts to get like sharper.
Yep.
So it requires you to kind of adapt in that way. Yours, this one is the like non-easy one. Easy one is more or less this, maybe a tiny bit slower ones, but it's good starting point because if you go to this one, I know you're gonna have like a harder time, and just a scenario being harder, it does not equal like more improvement. What equals improvement is playing what is for the current level of aim that you're at and what you're currently struggling at, rather than just play the hardest scenario, because you can play like near impossible scenarios, but this won't really help you get better, because all you're gonna be like, for example, right? Let's say close LDDH. Was it LH close? Okay, what was it? LDDH fixed? No. It was LD. Yeah. So this is one of the scenarios that like it was in some of the aim guides, right, for people to do. For example, Pure G, which is like a kind of like a aiming crew.
Yep.
And this thing, you know. And this thing will just teleport and also randomly bounce around in the air, right? So you can track it if you're really good, slightly per se, right? But for most people, this literally just looks like a complete, like you just get a headache basically from this one, if you were to put it that way, right? Like this thing is not useful for 99.9% of the people that have played Aim Trainer or just in general FPS. Why? Your hand cannot keep up with these movements. Like it just can't. It will simply just pass out. Even mine can barely do that without like me being proper warmed up, because it just passes out really hard, teleports and jumps around. So you know, you could also just tie your eyes out, and you just, you know, your eyes are just not going to be blinking because they're trying to keep up with this. So when that happens, you basically just go blind faster, if that makes sense. Yeah, because like even for me. So yeah, ultimately this is more or less how like this looks like. Hard does not equal efficient. So the scenarios that I gave you are really good. They cover like tracking in like all patterns, where that's like sideways, dropping, up and down, yada yada, changing like sharper direction targets, clicking as well, both for like it's like straight line targets moving and targets that sharply change direction. So strafing, the robots, the maneuvering robots change direction a little sharp. So yeah, this is like good enough. You don't have to play this fucking 3 hours a day. Maybe 45 minutes to an hour and a half maximum. It's more than enough. You go through each one for like 10 minutes ish, you know, and that is good enough for you to like have a practice. Sometimes you don't have to go through all of them. Let's say you feel like you're doing decent on one of them, but you're kind of like, you know, slacking on the other one, and you're not doing very well on it. Let's say you're doing very well on P-Sound, but you're like menuing, strafing galleries, like, you know, complete dog shit, and you can't do anything on it, and you're missing so much. You rather focus on, you know, let's say bounce 180 menuing, then you go like close LS easy dodge, close tappy strafes, and then menuing, and then you skip the top 4, for example, for like a few days, let's say. Then you go once again, do all of them, you know, see how you do. Maybe you got worse on one of them, maybe you got better on another one, yada yada. You don't have to play them in any specific order or any specific succession. It's up to you. You decide what you feel like need at the time. But all of these are more than enough for warm-ups, for aim practice, for anything that you could imagine. Just overall, this will bring consistency in your aim if you do them like decently regularly. If you do them every day, great. If not, then do them as much as you can. Sometimes you can also do them between games. Let's say you're waiting for a game, you just have Kovacs on the background, shoot a little bit, go into the game, play, yada yada. What you should remember, however, don't overstress your arm. What that means is if you feel like your arm is getting tired, it starts to hurt or getting any like discomfort, shake it off. Stretch it. Like push your like there's hand exercises everywhere. Like if you can find out, I'll just message me. I'll find you some. But there's plenty of gaming. Literally, just find the gaming exercise for gamers on YouTube. You'll get so many good ones. All you need to do, like stretch arm for like literally just push your extend your hand, push your hand downwards so that your entire forearm is extended, then backwards up so that the bottom side is extended. Then you do it to the side, right? You just extend your arm and do your like kind of hand to the side, yada yada. Anything that makes your muscles relax, then you shake it off and make sure that you don't cramp your muscles. Don't make them cramped, because if you get cramps in the muscles and the tendons are like stiff, then you just basically have like reduced range of motion because the muscles are not keeping up with what you actually want them to do. Yep. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Any questions? Anything that I can like explain or anything like that? Now there's a lot of things that I can and I must explain, but they come with time, right? It's like one step at a time. You can't just like throw a fucking pile of books and just study for 5 years, right? You go over time. That's why like people have like a therapist session for 2 hours, and then they have like a gym session for 1 hour and a half. Nobody goes to the gym for 2 weeks in straight with no sleep, to get muscles. They go every day 2 hours a day, and then they're like, okay, I've gotten good progress within this week, yada yada. I go do this next week, and yada yada. Same thing applies here. Yeah. You do this, you don't have to stick to everything to the dot, but obviously the longer you play it and the more consistent you play it, the more easy it would be for you to see like changes and improvement. Whereas the game sense and the game knowledge comes like just overall learning, that we can later obviously do ranked. Like when you grasp some of these things and you get like a little more consistent, then either we can pick up someone else, right, and you can go play ranked until you reach like a plateau, let's say platinum or something, where like I'm doing well, but I'm kind of not there yet at all. Like I don't want to play in this rank because I definitely, like, let's say we're going Predator, right? And like, damn, like I'm just getting rinsed everywhere. It's kind of, I feel I'm learning, but at the same time, I feel like I still need to improve on a lot. I've played with a lot of people. Yeah, I play with a lot of people. I've been in there for about a year and a half, I think. Yeah, it would be around that almost. I play with a lot of different people. Some people have improved a hell of a lot, but the ones that have improved by far the most are the MNK players that like stuck with practice and also played ranked with me and some of the people that I play with. I play with really good people that I used to be pro player in Apex. Used to be signed to a tier 1 org. So some of the players that I play with were recently playing in the Apex Pro League, yada yada. They're also like used to be signed pro players, and so they're like good players, or let's say really good ranked grinders. Like I used to be rank 3 UK, that guy used to be rank 1 in Russia, rank 2 in Russia, yada yada, stuff like that. Very good players that when you play rank with good players and at the relevant rank, let's say like, I think you can probably by yourself get to at the very least like gold platinum ish. At like platinum, it will start to get hard because this current platinum right now is basically the new high diamond masters rank. It's demanding. You can't really just do it by yourself and just be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna 1v3 everybody. Up until gold, you can kind of do that. After gold, you definitely need some teammates. Even in gold, you might actually want teammates. Silver, bronze, you definitely can probably just sew it through. It's not high cost, and you also can probably just play it a little slower. The idea right now in ranked is if you do play ranked, try not to die early. Wherever possible, early on, try to go for 3-piece rather than start your own fight, especially if you have randoms and no teammates that you're actually like in voice with, in Discord, and you play with, every so often. If you have randoms, try to just go for 3P, because randoms struggle to teamwork, but almost anybody can really go in a fight and just 3P, and they're more than likely not going to die instantly. So yeah, when it comes to rank knowledge and rank games and stuff like that, that will come later. First, your concerns were your mechanical skill. This is how you solidify it, and then how you learn to use the mechanical skill in a squad against another squad comes into rank then. We can do like duo trios, for example, right? We can do duo trios together and see how how we fight together. If you want, we can do like 1 or 2 games and see how it is. If you want like to do some like duo trios, for example, that comes quite useful because you don't have a third player. It's like you're already handicapped, It's like you can only rely on yourself and your other teammate, and overall you can't rely that somebody else will pick up the slack if you mess up. If you mess up, then it's like big problem. So you hold yourself at like high performance and high requirement for you to perform. You can't simply just just be completely unaware or just not focused and get out victorious, because even in pubs, people, because of skill-based matchmaking, won't be exactly that bad. That's why when I went in pubs, right, you didn't see some really bad players against me. Why? My KD is like 3.5, 4, I think, something like that. So I get matched with people within that frame of KDA, right? I don't get matched with people that are brand new at the game at like half a KDA or 1 KDA. That will not be the lobby that I'll get put in, because skill-based matchmaking is like this. So the players that I'm fighting are more or less capable of killing you in a separate fight. So yeah, that's more or less like this. So any questions or anything like that?
Well, I'm definitely gonna see if I can learn, like, practice all the stuff, like, crouching, crouch strafing, and all that stuff. And then if I can book you for another session in like a week or 2, we can do ranked.
Yeah,
and I can play with some of your friends
to
see if I can learn as much as I can.
That's fine. You're free to also try my binds if you want to try them. They're not mandatory, but if you do decide that you like them, you can play with those binds. They're not like some secret binds. I made them up because it was comfortable for me. Maybe it's not for some people. Maybe it's comfortable for others. But I do give the chance to people to try them and see if if they like them, because at the end of the day, if they like them, then it's all the better. They managed to improve off of that.
Yeah, the tap strafe and the Q&E are definitely something I'm going to use, because those are game changing for me.
Absolutely, you're definitely going to find like being able to actually strafe better will make a massive difference in fights when you're actually strafing. When you start like being comfortable relying on good ADD strafes rather than just jumping around, you'll notice that you feel more healthy coming out of fights, and you win more fights as a result, like almost all the time. It's not guaranteed, because if you fight against aim assist in close enough range, even if you're strafing, doesn't necessarily mean you're actually going to be dodging the bullets, because he basically locks onto you. But it still makes a good amount of difference.
Yep.
So yeah.
Okay.
If anything, if you have any questions, of course, you can always like message me on Discord. It's not like I'm gonna just ghost you because I'm not in the session. if I have a chance to reply, I try to reply as much as I can, I guess, fast as I can. But yeah, for the most part, we stop it here. Let's not pile up too much. And then when you get more comfortable or when you change your things, I would suggest definitely try to drop your sense at least by 0.2, 0.4. 802, 800, 1.8. You'll notice that.
Yeah.
If you want, I can give you... Here, I'll leave you this. Hold up. CSGO sensitivity guide, I think it was called. Yeah. So this sensitivity guide is pretty simple. Share. Bam, bam.
I want to go ahead and be boring. With alright, now take your Thorin. They are amazing.
Okay, let me just look through it real quick. So, actually, I'll explain it because some people have found it difficult to understand that, but I'll explain it real quick just so that it makes sense.
Okay. There it is.
Change window. How to find? Can you see my screen?
Yep.
This one,
That
right?
beautiful
You can see this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so simple. You're not gonna do this in CS. You're going to do this in Apex. Now, what does that mean? You're going to go to the dummy, the far right side dummy, and you're gonna stand in front of it at about, you know, a couple meters, 10 meters, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
you spend all that money,
See?
and he does it on this exact.
do a 360 on your mouse pad, right? That's the next step.
Copy him, but there's just no way around it. This
So-
is the best place to do it. Head to the other. So now
What he wants you to do, right? Essentially, is you find at what sensitivity on your mousepad you can do a full 360, and that would be your starting point. Now, how big is your mousepad? Do you know? Like, what mousepad do you have?
Well, I have one that covers the whole desk.
So you have a
So I
desk
have
size
this.
mousepad. Now, what I would suggest in that case is like 40 or 45 centimeters like distance. If you have anything to measure the distance, or just an overall, get like a, just end it at a certain point where you feel like, okay, usually I aim up to this, like I use my mouse up to this point. I don't really go that much past this point, you know, I don't swipe past this point. You pick a certain amount and then you find your sensitivity to that, right? You go and spin 360s with sensitivity, like with the sensitivities that you have, until, and you lower it or increase it until you're like, okay, I do about 360 with this amount of, you know, sensitivity. For me, I think it was 801.8 or 802 or something. I can't remember for sure, like what was it at the time. But then I get a bigger mouse pad and it was like 601.6 or 601.8 that I had like a full 360. In any case, I have an artisan mouse pad right now. In any case, you get the 360 and then you
now
use
need to set
your
up the top
sense
left.
as starting point. So this is what he says, right? For my setup, he has 450 DPI, that's on CS, and 2.25 sensitivity. That will be his starting sense, okay? For you, it could be 800 DPI and 1.6 or 1.8 or, you know, 1.7, doesn't matter. Anything that is close to that is fine. Anything that is pretty much about a 360 is good enough. You find a 360 sense,
Left corner.
and then you take like a notepad. You open a notepad document on your computer, and then you like start at that sensitivity. You type it down. Let's say 1.8, right?
to left paper, get a calculator.
And then get a piece of paper and get a calculator. You can use a calculator on a computer. We don't need papers and we don't need calculators. We're fucking 21st century. Everything is on the computer, right?
and by one.
So you multiply that sense, right? Your 360 sense that you found by 1.5. So you multiply 1.8 times 1.5, and that will give you like, what was it? Something along the line of 2.2 or something. I don't even know like how much it gives you. But and then you divide it by 2, the same sense. Like 1.8, you divide it by 2. If let's say for the purpose of this, your 360 sense that you arrived is 1.8. So you multiply by 1.5 and you divide by 2. Then you get the 3 senses. You get the lower one, which is the divided one, the multiplied one, which is the higher one, and the middle one, which is the one that you started, the 360 sense. Okay.
So
So
that
you
leaves
get
three
right. Test the highest sense, test the lowest sense, determine which one is better,
sensitivity.
right? So he multiplied that and he ended up at 338 and 112, right? So you don't test your 360 sense, you test the higher sense and the lower sense, because your 360 sense is just some random number that you came up with, right? These are the senses that you start with,
So
and you're like,
we're
okay,
gonna start with the highest number.
You see how
Mine is
what it does?
3.38.
he aims
So what you're
at the
gonna do is
dot
You're gonna strafe back and
and
forth,
tries to
and
keep
you're
it dead
gonna
center. Now I'll show you in game how it
See
looks like,
how
right?
comfortable.
And then these are the notes. Am I shaking? Can I stay on target? Is it easy to track? Am I over aiming? Like remove the last 3 because you know the last 3 are just memeing. Do I fail at CS? Have I been drinking? I'm pretty much just memeing, right? But yeah, he has these questions, right? You just simply need to be honest with yourself. Don't like, you know, don't like make yourself be like, yeah, I'm fine at this sense when you're not really fine. You're not lying to anybody but yourself. You're testing it against yourself and for yourself, for nobody else. So until it's good, you want to be, you know, honest with yourself and be like, okay, this sucks, this is too high, this is too low, this is way too low, and until you find, you know, that. Now I'll change to Apex and then I'll simulate what I'm doing there pretty much. Hold up. Close Kovacs, exit, bam. Bam, done. Okay. Now, can you see my screen? So, you can do both aim down sights and non-aim down sights. Let me just remove this from here. Now, this is your dot, okay? This here is your dot, right? You start, and then you try to keep it dead center. right? Just like that. As much as you possibly can, right? Because if you start shooting at it, you should be able to pretty much just like remain sorta on target as much as you can. Now, ideally, don't do it with a P20. Like pick up fucking, I don't know, like any gun.
No wingman or something.
It doesn't matter. Like anything that, let's say R99 and P20, and then get like an HCOG, so you have an actual dot there. You can also get a DG and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy that wingman got moved there. This new setup of the firing like, triggers me badly. It's so stupid. Like, why is the sniper here? Why? Like, what I'm guessing is they thought that nobody has ever used sniper, so if we put it here, so somebody will try it out. Yeah. Even though we do use in ranked snipers, we do use longbow and charge rifle. Sentinel not so much. Sentinel is like, it's not very consistent. But charge rifle in ranked, especially in Stormpoint, it's big deal. You charge your armors quickly as well, and longbow is good. Headshot is like 105 or something damage. So simple as that. You have a good dot, and then you try to just make and that. So you're like, okay, my sense, you know, fucking what is it? Mouse and keyboard. My sense 1.8, right? Let's say 1.8. Yep. I don't test 1.8, you test the one that you multiplied. So let's say 2.5 or 2.22. And you're like, okay, dude, I'm over aiming like this. Like every time I try to do it, I fucking over aim like this. Okay, that's too high. That's way too high. So we go.
Then you adjust it.
So, yeah. So you test the lower one. At the lower one, you're like, shit, I'm under aiming. I'm like, you know, I'm trying to keep it up, but it's like under aiming it a little bit, and I can't like adjust on it on time, right? So you're like, okay, which is better? Am I better, like, you know, am I getting closer to the target at the lower one, or am I getting closer at the target at the higher one where I'm just massively over aiming it? And you write down that sense, right? So we go back to the video there, and I just go, bam, how to find that.
Easy as you should have, because dexterity.
And you're like, okay, you take the, he took the lower sensitivity, right? Look, he took 112, correct?
Sense.
He takes 112.
It just doesn't matter.
And that's the lower sense. He picked the lower sense, so he multiplies it
is necessary
by
like
1.5.
Low of a sense. Next point is, all right, now that I've determined that the higher sense,
you cross out the bad sense, okay? You cross out the high sense because it's way too high and you can't keep track. So if you chose the lower one, you divide it by 2, okay? If you chose the higher one, you multiply it by 1.5.
Okay.
Did that make sense?
That makes sense.
Now he picked the lower one, so he will divide it by 2. He will divide 112 by 2.
Worst one for me. Happen to go my highest.
So he divides by 2, right? He divides by 2. He gets 0.56. Now the lower sensitivity becomes his middle one, and he tests between those two. Okay. Once you determine the new number is wrong, eliminate it. So once you determine that, let's say 0.2 is way too low, now we don't want it. Now what ends up happening after that, okay, what ends up happening after that is you combine 225 and 112 together and you divide them by 2. You get an average number which will stand in the middle, and now you get 225, an average in the middle, and 112. Where initially he started at this, okay? So that would mean that between 112 and 225 he will have something along the line of 166 or some shit like that, right? So he will have
0.56 is 2.
Test the high and low for like 5 minutes each, and then you repeat the process, right? So let's say you got 156 or whatever the fuck, 166 maybe on between 112 and 225. You test the high, the 225 and 112. You're like, 112 is like too low. I like the, you know, I like the higher one a little bit more than 225. You combine 225 and 166 and you get 380. Like 3.8 or 378 or something like that. Then you divide it by 2 and you get 176. And now once again you test, okay? You test these. Like you basically get between 166, like 170 something, and then 225. Which one is the better one? You cross it out again, combine, divide by 2, yada yada. Eventually you arrive at a margin of 2.1, 2.0 and 1.9, let's say, right? Or like 1.6, 1.7, 1.8. Now you test between each which is better, and you arrive at that one sense. There is no point to chop it any more than that to 165, 167 or 167.2 point something. No. having a 1.6 something or 1.7 is completely fine.
Okay.
Like having
Easy.
having a sense that is 1x something or 2x something, that's it. That's all that you need. You don't need like the smaller digits. It's completely pointless. Like going for the 0 digits makes absolutely no difference because what you're changing is like half a centimeter of 360. That changes nothing. Like you're realistically not really changing almost anything at all. So yeah, to make matters like to make it even more right, this is Rocket Jump Ninja who does like 5 reasons you want GoPro. So
shape and weight.
this is the mouse that I used to have, by the way.
You still think
G502, and I got carpal tunnel almost from it because it's 124 grams, and I used to play like pro in Overwatch with this thing. So I fucking played on heavy ass mouse with this shit.
502 is the best FPS mouse. Listen, it's fairly comfortable, has a lot of buttons and features. It has an infinite scroll wheel, and as a general purpose mouse,
yeah, he calls it a brick. He calls it a brick because it is a brick. Anything past 120 grams is considered a brick at current levels. Because like a good mouse right now is between like the I don't know, like 40-50 to 91 grams maximum. That's what we would consider good FPS mouse.
wrong. 4 at 400.
And then
number 4, your sensitivity is still wrong. Sensitivity 4 at 400 DPI.
4 at 400.
See, you're still going to miss because you weren't using 1 at 1600 DPI. Still missing. Definitely should have had 0.5 at 3200 DPI.
Do you understand what that means, right? He's literally using the exact same sensitivity. It's DPI times sense. So he's literally right now at 1600 eDPI, no matter how much he did.
Or maybe 0.49, 4999.
See? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Ultimately,
Okay, so that's the secret behind this. There is no right sensitivity because they don't make a sensitivity that's right for you.
Exactly. You find what's right for yours. You literally find what fits you, what makes you most consistent, and what you would want to get used to. Obviously, switching sensitivities all the time is not exactly a good idea, especially for like people that haven't switched sensitivities like that since like a long ass time, like years, because they lose consistency. But the more often you switch stuff, the more your brain gets used to adapting to that. So when you like, you don't get like just stuck on one. You do have like a small transition period for each one, but the transition period lowers with each time you change. Now that doesn't mean you should just go start changing everything right now every single day. That's not a good idea. You find what you're used to and you stick to that. And after some time, you're like, okay, I played decently at it, but if I were to go lower, I think I would gain some more consistency. What if I test that? What if I, go up like 0.2, 0.3 sensitivities down? I see how I aim there for like a month or two, and be like, I aim really well with that, and I track really well, but I feel a little slow when I'm going around, when I'm just spinning around. When I try to 180, I'm a little too slow. When I try to like go around zip lines, it feels, clunky, like hard for me to do that. What if I go up like a 1, like a 0.1, or like a 0.2 maybe maximum, and then you test that, and after you basically just make your conclusions and eventually you arrive at something. Nothing is ever perfect. You find what's most comfortable for you. That's pretty much it. That's all that it is.
Nice.
If you need me to, I can also like write it down, like how to use that the sensitivity guide if you find yourself like lost at it. But it's pretty simple. Step 1, find the 360 cents. Step 2, that 360 cents, you take it, multiply by 1.5 and divide by 2 or some shit, or like multiply by 2 and divide 1.5 the first time. Then you pick out you remove the wrong one. You pick like, the one that either the higher or the lower. Then you use the multiplier, either, times 2 or divide by 1.5 or whatever the heck. I think it was the other way around. And then between those two, now after you start removing them, you no longer start like, picking the lower one. You rather just combine. You remove one and you just combine them, and then you get average sense, average sense, average sense, average sense, over and over until you get an average that is within 0.1 margin of each other, pretty much. And that's the last that you should be testing. That takes 30 minutes to 45 minutes, pretty much, like of your time to do that. pretty much
I
within that amount of time you can go past all these senses. You test it for about 2, 3, 5 minutes each. No more than 5-6 minutes each. I don't think you need more than that. The idea is to get a sense of what immediately feels closer to natural, rather than like what it takes a long time to get used to, right?
Okay.
That's pretty much it. And a general tip:
Awesome.
I'm not sure how you're sitting on your like how much is your arm into the mousepad, but for most consistency, you want to ideally have your most of your arm laying on the mousepad rather than either being up in the air, off your desk onto the chair, or just like hanging in the air, because
Yeah, I do that.
that makes it difficult to aim. And some people have had issues with that, where they literally have the desk space, but they're just like they keep the mouse close to them, and they fold their arm really hard, and then they just try to aim like right under them, more or less. And there's people that like have their space being so small that they're literally forced to actually aim with just arm, right? Sorry, with just wrist, because their arm is, no matter what, has no space to go to anywhere. So they will never be really able to aim very well, because like their arm is just hanging in the air. It's like there's no stability in that way. So yeah, remember that like stability happens. Also, posture matters actually. Like being slouched over, being slouched over or just like very hunched over, it's not a good idea. You want to be as relaxed as possible. It's both for your back, your neck, and for your just general gaming performance. You want to be about a 90 degrees, not necessarily like a 90 degrees stood up, but around 90 degrees, and then ideally relaxed, extended slightly arms, not like fully extended, but just natural stance, as if you just leave your arms on the table to eat. That's more or less how you should look like. The way you drop your arms on the table to eat, the same way should be when you're handling the mouse and keyboard. Because when you do that, A, there's no strain on the hands, and B, your maximum range of motion is reached that you can pull out from your hands. So that actually comes very useful. You don't notice it, like just notice when you're shooting or when you're moving around, but oftentimes you'll be missing it, like it's just because I have bad aim. It could be because just bad range of motion because of posture and like the way your arms are placed. So that's pretty much it. Let's call it at that. I will go eat.
All right.
And yeah, I hope you learned something new. I hope you had fun. And of course, if you need me, I'm here. And yeah, if you do feel like you had a good sesh, then I think when I close the sesh, you might get like a prompt. You can write what you did like about your sesh, what you didn't like about your sesh. It's not a must do, but if you feel like you're like, damn, this was cool, or this guy sucked, you can flame me a little bit in a review, So yeah, up to you. Write anything that you feel like how your session helped you in any way. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you need anything, I'm always here on Discord. So yeah, I wish you a good evening, and all the best until next time we play. Yeah.
Yep. All right, Darkin. I appreciate it.
Cheers, bro. Take care.
All right.
Alrighty.